Chapter 1540, Fearfully Barbarian. Chapter 1540, Fearfully Barbarian. Shiyan's power rocketed instantly, but he didn't attack Yuan yet. He maintained his previous position. Holding the star chain, he restrained Huey's main head. Deep in his eyes, blood-red energy gushed crazily and hit Hui deep in its sea of consciousness. That sort of energy had created soul pressure. Finally, the balance that Yuan had laboriously created was broken. Ziyao used her absolute advantage to counterattack Huey's soul and use her soul to swallow Huey's host's soul. Huey's sea of consciousness had become a world filled with bands of dazzling light. The sparkling halos rippled like light waves in the sea at every corner. Deep inside the brilliant sea of light was a magnificent, hovering, seven-colored soul altar. It was Huey's soul altar with the blinding divine light power Upanishad, a territory, and a pocket-sized snake soul, which was Huey's host soul. At this moment, the dark green snake was affected by the black water and a red halo. It looked so helpless. Ziyao's graceful soul turned into a bunch of purple light and coiled around the little green snake. The little snake struggled hard. The snake body was slowly vanishing in the purple light. Quite the contrary, the purple light grew bigger and brighter at a speed that naked eyes could see. It was filled with energy. That small snake was Huey's host soul. While Ziyao was backfiring it, she had taken a lot of mysterious images in its memories. Ziyao's aura was completely similar to a snake. It wasn't a problem to migrate the memories. It was as easy as water pulling the boat. Shiyan's ferocious, savage body observed and found that the struggling snake suddenly quieted down. He knew that they had gotten over the dangerous phrase. Ziyao now had Huey's host soul. From now on, Huey's time was over. Ziyao was about to replace it and control this absolute beginning body. Yuan's energy was divided into 3 flows to control Dragon Lizard, Shiyan, Ziyao, and Neptune's group. He had controlled the situation. Right at this moment, Yuan suddenly bellowed at the void. He crazily shared a greater part of his soul consciousness to subdue Ziyao. He didn't want Hui to wake up or Ziyao to take Huey's soul. The changed situation threatened him. He had to retrieve the energy he used to fight Forefather Dragon Lizard and Neptune to help Hui counterattack Shiyan and Ziyao. Swoosh! 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 He immediately retrieved his soul energy sent to the other snakes. After his restraint was gone, the other 11 soul clones of Hui hurried to attack Ziyao. The soul clones turned into small snakes, emerged in Huey's soul, and furiously attacked Ziyao. However, after Ziyao had taken in Huey's host soul, she had also obtained its memories and powers. She was no longer the weak warrior that Hui could bully. She had Huey's powers. Ziyao suddenly transformed into a human with a snake body from the purple light. She urged her power Upanishad in Huey's sea of consciousness. Shortly after, she steadied herself in this world of divine light. She could pull and control them all. Bands of dazzling light crossed over this inner world and attacked the little snakes. In this world, she was the only protagonist. Shiyan's soul consciousness in there also felt her intimidation. Yuan was still roaring wildly. When Ziyao got Huey's host soul, his soul had tried to get in there. However, he was stopped outside by the divine light. He couldn't intrude Ziyao's sea of consciousness to overturn the situation. At the same time, Shiyan recognized that Ziyao was fighting the 11 clones in her sea of consciousness. He knew that he didn't need to help her anymore. He retrieved his soul consciousness and power. His formidable, giant body shook. The giant dragon tattoo on his body suddenly moved. The world-destroying energy furiously diffused from him. Crack! 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 The immense sea created by Yuan energy exploded and collapsed fast. It seemed like the ocean created by water power Upanishad couldn't resist such a power. The current water level of the sea was now at Shiyan's waist. At first glance, it looked like he was standing in the middle of a small, shallow pond where a giant turtle that wasn't bigger than him was swimming. Heavenly stars move! Shiyan shouted. Skyfall's star river changed in the void and turned into thousands of bright stars. Each star revolved and created a dazzling light curtain. The light curtain created hundreds of strange, ancient formations, seals, and barriers, falling like waterfalls. All were aimed at Yuan's giant turtle body. Space confines. Space energy rippled. Wherever the space ripples went, the void froze. The giant turtle paused. Boom. Shuryen ballooned like a demogorgon that descended to this world while terrifying energy was emitting from him. He trotted on the giant turtle shell. The giant dragon tattoo on his body suddenly revived. The dragon opened the mouth as if it was smiling and moved towards the giant turtle. Desolate. You dipped your nose in my business. Yuanzu's human clone looked frightened for the first time. The giant turtle retracted into the shell. The world on the turtle shell was put into a deep place in his territory. All the patterns on the turtle shell glowed and turned black. Thump. Shuryen's stamp sounded like a hammer hitting a bronze drum. Yuan's turtle shell made the sound of an earth-shaking explosion. The giant dragon tattoo hit the patterns on the turtle shell and cracked it. Yuan screamed in agony. I will risk my life with you. Yuanzu screamed and then ignored Neptune's group, entering his real body. Yuan's turtle body's energy rocketed once more. The scattered energy all united. Rumble. 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 Crack. 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 A demogorgon whose head touched the void and feet trotted the darkness was fighting a giant turtle in the surging sea. They were using their power Upanishads to attack each other and their massive body to tear and bite each other. Neptune, Xiaolai, Jianai, and the others were released since Yuan had retrieved his power. Dragon Lizard lost his tail, but he was saved when he was close to dying. Just like Neptune and the others, he was dazedly watching the two terrifying creatures entangling and biting each other. Is he really Shuryen? Jianni's patterned face showed her fear. She lifted her head to look at Shuryen, whose little toe was as big as a mountain. She was filled with fear. Yes, that's him. Neptune sounded bitter. I heard that you had almost killed him on the seabed of the Sea of Annihilation. I want to know if the rumors were true or not. You can defeat him. Xiaolai of Heavenly Craftsman tribe asked frankly. He looked at Neptune skeptically and asked him politely, You think you can kill him now? Did you lose your mind while cultivating? Neptune looked embarrassed, but he didn't snap back. Jia and I of Secret Pattern tribe had strange lights in her eyes as she complimented. Yeah, he's the one who has claimed Meiji's heart. I didn't know why the most beautiful flower of the Phantom Clan has fallen in love with an anonymous person. But now I get it. She didn't conceal her compliments. What a hunk. Let alone Meiji, I think as long as you are a woman, your heart will pound hard as you watch this fight. I think you should leave hurriedly. However, at this moment, Forefather Dragon Lizard's voice arose. He floated from the seething ocean, his body gory and his face exhausted. You're severely wounded, said Xiaolai. I won't die yet. But if I stay here, I'm not sure about that. Forefather Dragon Lizard pulled a cold face as he looked at the corpses of Lebit and Clark. Whether it's Shuryen or Yuanzu, when one becomes victorious, he will kill you all. Which side did you choose? Jia and I was interested. She didn't even bat her eyes at Clark and Lebit. Apparently, she was that sort of heartless person. Sighed. Forefather Dragon Lizard wore a strange face. He lifted his head to look at the overbearing Shuryen in the void. He was scared. He knew that absolute beginning creatures could eat each other to increase its power. As he got Lizard's blood, he wondered if Shuryen, who had fallen into his bloody slaughtering desire, would lose his mind and kill all the creatures here. Forget it. I don't care about you. I have to get out of here. Pondering, he didn't dare to take risks. As he felt that Shuryen's condition was not right, he didn't want to stay. After talking to Neptune and the others, he dragged his bloody body away. The battle between Shuryen and Yuan continued. The giant and the turtle were hitting each other hard in the dark ocean. The shockwaves from their exploding energy broke many life stars around. This strange territory was about to collapse because of their battle. Shuryen alone couldn't resist Yuan. However, after Desolate lent him energy, he could maintain an equal fight with Yuan. Neptune's team didn't want to leave when they saw the two battling hard against each other. They hid in the dark and observed. Oh! That big snake isn't moving anymore, is it? Neptune was surprised and something flashed in his head. This is our chance. The others checked and found that the 12 snakes of Hui stopped moving. Their eyes were also closed. Chapter 1541. Ziyao is born again. Chapter 1541. Ziyao is born again. It hurt, didn't it? Neptune's eyes brightened in desire. They came here because of the absolute beginning body. Right now, Yan and Yuan were fighting. They couldn't spend extra effort to pay attention to them. It was their rare chance that happened once in a blue moon. I haven't seen it move. I guess it's hurt from the previous battle. Xiao Lai smiled excitedly. Xiao Lai had a scarlet flame churn in his palm. Slowly, the flame grew as big as a millstone. Xiao Lai controlled it to hit one of the 12 snakes. Boom! The flame exploded. The red flame burned the snake as if it had its own consciousness. Boop! 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 The viscous flame expanded fast and covered a section of the snake's body. Gradually, the snake smelled like something burning. People focused on that snake and found it motionless. It didn't twist its body or use energy to extinguish the flame. Everyone's eyes brightened. They didn't say more, grinning and dashing towards Huey's clones. They wanted to seize the chance when the snakes were separated to drink Huey's absolute beginning blood. Neptune screamed and summoned so many brutal souls. Those souls then became the most savage beasts and aimed at a massive snake. Each brutal soul was as big as a mountain. However, compared to the trunk of the snake, it was still pretty small. The snake was like a long mountain range. But now, dozens of brutal souls were biting and tearing it. Neptune urged his power Upanishad and licked his lips greedily while increasing his energy. He wanted to prick through the snake's natural armor. Hui was an absolute beginning creature. Its body was incomparably strong. Although it couldn't save the soul, its natural defense wasn't something that ordinary warriors could break. Waves of rippling lights emerged from Huey's body and dissolved Neptune's power. The brutal souls were nibbling and tearing something like rubber. They couldn't tear the snake's skin to see and absorb its real flesh and blood. Similarly, Jia and Xiao Lai, and the others were using their powers to try to stab through the snake body to get into it. They were restlessly increasing their energy and trying their best to break the skin. Deep in Huey's soul, the pocket-sized snakes had pierced through the world of brilliant lights and headed towards Ziyao. Ziyao appeared as a part human and part snake. She had become the rightful master of this divine light sea of consciousness. She moved agilely. So many radiant beams were weaving on her face and her body. They became brilliant symbols that carried mysterious and powerful abilities. Return the host soul. I will set you free. The voices of 11 hues sounded at the same time and became pure energy that hit Ziyao's soul. I am you. And you are me. Why talk about freedom? After Ziyao got the host soul, her confidence was boosted. She seemed to transform into another person. At this moment, she was extremely beautiful and charming. She smiled with a bright face. She raised her hand and pointed at each snake. You guys are just wisps of my soul consciousness. In my world, you can't struggle. The snakes wanted to bargain more, but they suddenly felt their bodies get attacked. It was because Neptune, Xiao Lai, and Jia and I began to attack their bodies and tried to dig into them to absorb the absolute beginning blood. It scared the snakes. They noisily hissed at Ziyao. They wanted to stop this bargaining and return to the body to kill the ones who dared to attack their bodies. Harumph. Since you came here, don't think about leaving. Anyway, my body isn't under attack. Ziyao's hands interlaced and created many magical seals and absolute beginning symbols, sealing the souls of the 11 snakes in this sea of bright light. Since Neptune's group was afraid that Hui would risk its life to counterattack, they thought that they were wise enough to skip the host body. Thus, Ziyao's body wasn't attacked. She didn't worry about it. Don't worry. Even if you individuals are destroyed, as long as I'm here, you can be revived. Haha. But I'm afraid you guys won't have decent living conditions when that happens. Well, you should follow me now. I will refine you and we will become one again. Nua. 11 snakes hissed ear-piercingly and tried to wiggle hard. However, right at that moment, Xiao Lai of the Heavenly Craftsman tribe had used his scorching flame to burn off the scale armor on a small section on the snake body. He conjured a gold lance and thrusted the soft meat. Puff! The snake body was pierced through, exposing its blood and flesh. Xiao Lai's eyes brightened. He laughed crazily and tried to get inside the snake. At the same time, one of the 11 snakes panicked, its energy draining fast. Ziyao immediately changed seals. Countless magical seals fell on that snake and coiled it. Shortly after, she pulled it towards her snake body. Strange noises of something dissolving arose. When she got one of her souls back, Ziyao's power increased. She continued to use her power to pull another snake. She pulled the snakes back to their positions and merged them all. As the other snakes saw the situation turn wrong, they quit attacking her, turned around, and tried to run away. When Ziyao was getting stronger, they couldn't decide what to do anymore. Unfortunately, Ziyao got so strong that they couldn't get rid of her. The snake disappeared, one by one. Ziyao erased their independent consciousness and gave them different consciousness. Her own consciousness. The snakes were refined, tamed. They became parts of Ziyao. Shortly after, the tamed 11 snakes flew out of her body. This time, they all had Ziyao's aura as their souls now had Ziyao's soul imprint. From now on, Hui no longer existed. Ziyao was now the absolute beginning creature called Hui. She had everything that belonged to Hui. The 12 silent snakes faced the sky and roared all of a sudden. The separate bodies moved and their tails merged with each other. Afterward, the 12 heads raised high in the sky as its massive body filled every corner of the continent. Ziyao in her human form stood on the main head and opened her eyes. She was shrouded in stunning halos. She looked at Xiao Lai and the others from her height and sneered. Court death yourself. Cold, sparkling crystal lights fell from her head toward her clones. Boom! Xiao Lai, who had gotten a section of the snake body, became the first target. The cold light hit him and extinguished his flame. He shivered in extreme cold. Spit it out. Ziyao's face turned cold. She pointed at Xiao Lai. The bottles and jars on his body, which contained the blood and flesh he had just taken from the snake, exploded. The snake's blood and flesh flew back to the wounds on the snake's body as if they had consciousness. Swoosh! 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 Ziyao was enraged. She used her power and the 12 heads roared and hissed, releasing the bands of rainbows. The rainbow fell like waterfalls and hit Neptune, Xiao Lai, and Jia and I. Shortly after, in the sea of light where they were shrouded, they vanished. Although Neptune, Xiao Lai, and Jia and I had reached the territory ancestor realm, Ziyao had confined them in her world with one attempt. Then, Ziyao's eyes moved and fell on Yuan and Shurian not far from them. Her real body roared and twisted, moving to attack Yuan. Her human body smiled gently. Yuan, my man alone can defeat you. If I join, do you think you can escape? Yuan was in his turtle form. His shell had so many cracks. Evidently, he was severely wounded. Shurian's scaly armor also had cracks. He was bleeding too. In their battle, they had darkened the entire area and broken many planets nearby. Hearing Ziyao's laughter, Shurian shivered. He was so thrilled. He knew that Ziyao had finally awakened with his efforts. She had completely replaced Hui. She was now in existence like him and she was even stronger than him. Yuan still wanted to fight, but he understood what had happened when he heard Ziyao's voice. He bellowed and tried to retreat. Bobbing in the black ocean, he wanted to flee. Shurian, we should join hand to kill this coward. Ziyao stood on the snake head as she spoke softly to Shurian, her eyes sentimental. Of course, Shurian faced the sky and laughed. Yuan was frightened. He knew that he couldn't defeat Shurian and Ziyao together. He had to run fast. At this moment, the giant dragon tattoo on Shurian's body faded. The endless power he got was disappearing rapidly. Ghost Hunter appeared in the soul pond inside Shurian's sea of consciousness. He said indifferently, I don't want you to die in Yuan's hands. Neither you or Ziyao can kill him. If Hui recovers fully, she will trouble me a lot. Wait for me. I will find you and merge my body with you. When that happens, No one in this era will be able to stop me. Ghost Hunter's image faded away. The giant dragon created by dark energy churning in the soul pond also disappeared. When Desolate's power was taken back, Shi Yan's savage body shrank, his power reducing greatly. Yuan seized the chance to run away. He turned into a water current and zoomed away quickly. Shortly after, he became a drop of water, disappearing. His aura vanished in this territory. Why did you let him run away? Xiao sat on the snake head. She moved to Shi Yan and asked skeptically. I wasn't really that strong. Shi Yan shook his head and gave her a forced smile. He knew that Desolate wouldn't help him for no reason. He couldn't let Shi Yan and Xiao kill Yuan to take more energy. Chapter 1542, Disclose Feelings. Chapter 1542, Disclose Feelings. Zi was sitting on the fulgent, seven-colored crystal throne on the snake head. Her eyes were like precious gemstones, her smile a blooming flower. She was utterly beautiful. Xiao was still herself, but her makings were more charming than previously. In Shi Yan's eyes, no one could beat Xiao's glamour now. Even Mei Ji was one level lower than her. It was all thanks to Hui's soul. She had gotten the soul of an absolute beginning creature and transformed completely. She was wearing a violet dress, her eyes brighter than snow. She lazily leaned on her side on the crystal throne, giggling and talking to Shi Yan. Shi Yan resized his massive body and stayed in his human form. He sat with Xiao on the crystal throne and explained to her with a forced smile that his rocketing energy was actually from Desolate. I thought I would perish soon. I had never expected to defeat its soul. I'm still scared. Xiao beamed at Shi Yan and then bit her lower lip. She reached out to Shi Yan's hand, pulling him close to her and then leaning against his torso. I thought it was only me with my affection. I thought that you didn't have me in your eyes and that I didn't have a room in your heart. Seeing you get stronger every day, I felt smaller. I thought you were getting further and further away from me. You become someone I could never touch. She murmured her feelings that she had been hiding for so many years. I had given up because I thought I could never catch up with you. I couldn't help you in anything and became a rope tying you down and keeping you from soaring up into your sky. I tried to follow you. I cultivated hard to improve my realm. She lifted her head and looked Shi Yan in his eyes. But you're too fast, so it was hard to imagine. I could only open my eyes wide and helplessly watch you get stronger and stronger. No matter how hard I tried, I couldn't shorten the distance between us. I hated myself at that time. Shi Yan didn't know how to reply. From the time they were in Raging Flame Star area, he knew her feelings. But at that time, he had only Xia Xian Yan in his heart. And he only wanted to break through his realm and find a safe place for Grace Mainland, which was about to run out of energy. He wanted to settle his family and friends who had trusted him wholeheartedly. Thus, he had chosen to ignore Xiao's love. After entering Agate Star area, he had continuously fought around. He never stopped in any place. At that time, Xiao also had a better chance. Lin Xian had accepted her as her disciple. They hadn't met each other for many years, and when they met again, they didn't spend time for each other because of Shi Yan's advancement. When they met again, Xiao couldn't reach him. She was left far behind him, and the distance between them was only getting longer. Shi Yan thought that Xiao's image wasn't carved deeply in his heart. But when Hui occupied her and Xiao was enslaved, he finally knew that Xiao had a room in his heart, a place where he had imprinted her image that would never fade away. Today for me, you didn't care about your life. You risked your life to help me resist it. Finally, I know you have something for me in your heart. Xiao suddenly had a bright smile that she couldn't conceal. It was because her bitter wait for so many years was now fruitful. The giant body of the 12-headed snake emerged as the sea water lowered. It occupied almost the entire continent. Countless pieces of broken stars were scattered around the snake. Also, so many massive pieces hovered in the void like giant specks in the galaxy, moving around the snake. Except for the two of them, this area didn't have auras of any living beings. They could show their feelings and enjoy a rare, private moment. On this strange continent in a foreign territory, they told each other their hidden emotions that they had kept for a long time. Time flew quietly. Gradually, many strange battleships appeared in the dark sea of stars. Many warriors were moving around the battleships, their realms high. Also, there were some warriors hovering directly in the void. They didn't use any battleship or war chariot. The world-destroying battle in the corner of the territory had finally alerted the warriors in the far areas. The shockwaves from Shuryen and Yuan's battle had torn the territory barriers, which attracted experts in the territory and adjacent territories to come and see. Shuryen and Ziyao felt many creatures approaching. They stopped talking. Ziyao changed her mind and a thick mist diffused, covering the space around them. In the thick mist, the 12 snakes shrank in the world of beautiful rainbow bands. That world slowly shrank until it became a light that disappeared into Ziyao's pupil. She and Shuryen stood up and released the soul consciousness to check around. Shuryen's soul expanded like invisible waves and reached an area where the others were gathering. A group of warriors from different races and different realms appeared in his eyes. Most of them were explorers from empty land, a group of native warriors, and some from other nearby territories. Among several thousand warriors, a figure caught Shuryen's attention. His eyes brightened as he pulled Ziyao's hand and said, "Let's go." After that, Shuryen and Ziyao vanished as if they were smoke and mist. Evelyn's and some members of the Heavenly Eye clan were in the crowd and watching the area where mist hovered. He was taking some apprentices on a field trip to a corner of the Heavenly Eye clan's territory. He was teaching them how to comprehend their power Upanishads when he found that the space barrier near them was smashed. Curiously, he took his students to the adjacent territory from the broken space barrier. He knew this territory called Wavy River was right next to their Heavenly Eye clan's Musing Rain territory. There was a passage that linked Wavy River territory and Musing Rain territory. In fact, Evelyn's, Masha, and Adams had gone through that passage to enter Empty Land and then the Sea of Annihilation. From the shattered barrier spot, as soon as he got into Wavy River territory, he felt the earth-shaking energy impact. The commotion was billions of miles away from them, but they could still feel it clearly. Led by curiosity, he brought his apprentices to this place. They all wanted to see what had just happened to Wavy River territory. When they got to the place, they found that the area was covered in thick mist. They couldn't see anything inside that mist. Many warriors had come earlier than Evelyn's and his students. Many of them were famous experts of Wavy River territory at the Immortal Realm. Those experts didn't dare to enter the mist. They were observing from a far distance. Evelyn's just watched from a distance too. "Teacher, what could be the realms of the experts who had joined that battle?" A member of the Heavenly Eye clan who had only King God realm cultivation base was very curious and eyeing the mist eagerly. "Why does no one dare to go in there and check?" "You're stupid." Of course, they know that the battle at such a level isn't something that they can observe nearby. They have to stay far away to watch. A pretty girl of the Heavenly Eye clan glared at that young man and scolded. "Sister, what kind of level are you talking about?" asked the young man excitedly. The girl checked Evelyn standing next to them and then stuck her tongue out. She said cutely, "Of course, they are at a more terrifying realm than our master. Otherwise, our master wouldn't just watch from here." She startled the young man. He said, "Our master has broken through to second sky of Immortal Realm." "You meant the warriors inside the mist have higher realms?" "Peak of Immortal Realm." "Nonsense," hissed the girl. When Evelyn's, Masha, and Adams had visited the sea domain of Nihility and befriended Shuryen, they were at first sky of Immortal Realm, just a step away from second sky. After the tragical incident on the Dragon Lizard Star, Forefather Dragon Lizard had taught them something. Then, the Heavenly Eye clan established a relationship with the Heavenly Sky clan and became their dependent force. Evelyn's, Adams, and Masha had received a lot of benefits. Evelyn's had broken through to second sky of Immortal Realm shortly after. Currently, Evelyn's was famous in the Heavenly Eye clan because he had helped the clan become a force under the mysterious Sky clan. His reputation in the Heavenly Eye clan was high. Even the chief of the Heavenly Eye clan had to respect him a lot. Those juniors were Evelyn's apprentices. In their eyes, Evelyn's was the strongest expert, and they had never met any existence at the Territory Ancestor realm. The Heavenly Eye clan never had a Territory Ancestor. That's why they were just a third-class race. Unless their race had a territory ancestor, they could finally upgrade their class. Little Yi, you have to remember that my realm can be deemed as the top in our clan. However, in the sea domain of nihility, it may not be worth mentioning. Evelyn's looked at the two young warriors that he had expected a lot from, and seriously, at my realm, I can't return alive if I fight the others in the sea domain of nihility. That place has so many experts like clouds in the sky that you can't count. Many forces are stronger than our clan. You shouldn't relax and become lazy in your cultivation. Hearing him, Little Yi didn't have more opinions and just nodded obediently. Evelyn's looked at them and sighed inwardly. My competence is limited. Even if I teach you all that I know about Power Upanishad, you can only become stronger than me. If you don't have an excellent teacher, you will never have hoped to reach the territory ancestor realm. The biggest dream of his life was that the Heavenly Eye clan would have a territory ancestor who could help the clan thrive and live better. Although his generation couldn't do that, he hoped that the next generation would achieve the dream that the entire Heavenly Eye clan had desired. He knew that his two little students, Little Yi, were extraordinary. If they had a good teacher, they could have a chance to reach the territory ancestor realm in the future. However, a master at the territory ancestor realm wasn't someone who would accept a small warrior from the Heavenly Eye clan as his disciple. When Masha, Adams, and he had tried their best to help Shiryen, they had a request for him. If Shiryen reached the territory ancestor realm one day, he would have to choose one member of the Heavenly Eye clan as his disciple. Masha, Adams, and Evelyn's had spent time and efforts in the sea domain of nihility to search for Shiryen's information and whereabouts. When they heard that Shiryen disappeared in the Sea of Annihilation, they returned to Musing Rain territory disappointed. They thought that the agreement they got with Shiryen that year would never be implemented. Long time no see, Evelyn's. While he was sinking in his regret, though, a familiar voice came to his ears. He was surprised at first. When he saw the one standing next to him, he was shocked. He shook and screamed. You. Why are you here? Chapter 1543. The Agreement in the Past. Chapter 1543. The Agreement in the Past. Evelyn's eyes brightened. He had never expected to see Shiryen here. When Shiryen disappeared mysteriously from the Sea of Annihilation, he guessed that Shiryen had returned home. At that time, Masha, Adams, and he were extremely disappointed. They weren't in good moods when they returned to Musing Rain territory. After more than 100 years, he was taking some apprentices for a field trip, which wasn't in the sea domain of nihility. However, he met Shiryen by chance. He felt so happy indeed. You're here, unexpectedly. Evelyn's face brightened. He was moved and suddenly understood it. He looked at the mist and assumed, you guys were attracted by that great commotion and came here from another territory? It's strange, indeed. The energy impact from this wavy river territory has shattered the territory barrier. Did it happen to your territory too? Shiryen and Ziyao exchanged looks and smiled. Yeah, our territory is nearby. Since a corner of the territory wall is torn, we came to check it out. I didn't expect to meet you guys here. Evelyn's eyes shot strange light. He looked at Shiryen and Ziyao as he was startled. He couldn't recognize Shiryen's and Ziyao's realm. Is the Heavenly Eye clan's territory nearby? I haven't seen Adams and Masha for a long time. If you don't mind, can you take me there to meet them? Shiryen pondered for a while and then said. They were eye-catching here. After Yuanzhu had left, this area was going to become a buzzing place, especially when Lebit and Clark were killed, and Neptune, Xiaolai, and Jia and I were captured in Ziyao's world of divine light. This place was about to attract experts at the level of the 10 Great Territory Ancestor Realm. He had experienced a bloody battle with Yuanzhu where he had consumed a lot of energy. The energy from Lebit and the others' deaths was taken in, but he needed time to buffer the energy and refine it. Similarly, Ziyao needed time to steady herself and deal with Neptune, Xiaolai, and Jia and I. The Heavenly Eye clan's territory was going to be a good stop. Shiryen had made up his mind. Haha, excellent. I think Adams and Masha will be happy when they meet you. Evelyn's had wished that Shiryen would come to their territory, so he agreed immediately. He rubbed his chin and contemplated. You guys don't want to see more? That terrifying commotion had shattered even planets. I think there was a battle between territory ancestor realm experts. He was still curious about what was hiding in the thick mist over there. If it's a battle at the territory ancestor realm, we will court death ourselves if we get in there. We shouldn't get involved. Shiryen gave a bitter smile. Evelyn's thought and then said, okay, we should go back through the hole on the barrier to our Musing Rain territory. Master, who are they? Little Ya's eyes brightened. Her line of sight switched from Shiryen to Ziyao and she said, this Jie is so beautiful. I have never seen anyone more beautiful than her. So stunning. After Ziyao had fused with Hui's soul and power, her halo couldn't be concealed. Her glamour could make even women praise her. Little Ya and the young warriors of the Heavenly Eye clan acted gingerly when they saw Ziyao. They acted unnaturally as they both wanted to see her and avoid her eyes. Also, they were afraid that Shiryen would be enraged too. All of this made them look awkward. Ziyao smiled elegantly when she heard Little Ya compliment her. Girl, you're pretty too. Oh, she is. Evelyn's was surprised too. He thought, not Audrey? Why did he change to another woman? When he asked that, he saw Shiryen startle and Ziyao's eyes get bright. Ziyao smiled and looked at Shiryen as if she was waiting for him to give her a satisfied answer. You haven't confirmed yet? Evelyn's was embarrassed as he thought he had asked a stupid question. Shiryen gave a faint smile. He said nothing about their relationship. As Little Yu and the other men of the Heavenly Eye clan were watching with envious eyes, he wrapped his arm around Ziyao's delicate waist. Ziyao's eyes looked happy. She moved with the flow, leaning against his torso and feeling great. I really like you, girl. Do you cultivate firepower Upanishad? Take this little toy as a gift for you. She walked to Little Yu gracefully. While the little girl of the Heavenly Eye clan was surprised, she shoved a heart-shaped, red crystal into her hand. The heart-shaped crystal had a dancing crimson flame with consciousness. Little Ya's white hand fondled the crystal heart. Instantly, she felt her soul altar immerse in a sea of rolling fire. A pure flame directly seeped towards her god power ancient tree. She could hear the igniting sound when the red energy flooded in her like a rising tide. Little Ya was frightened. She hastily threw the crystal heart away. Instantly, the red crystal heart emitted heat waves that filled the entire place and scared Evelyn's, turning him pale. Little Ya was young and she didn't have a wide knowledge. Evelyn's, of course, understood how precious that heart-shaped crystal was. He clumsily urged his power to cover that little red crystal. He checked it and became shocked. He looked at Ziyao with fear and said respectfully, "This thing is too precious. Please take it back. Little Ya isn't worth receiving such a precious item." The energy in this small crystal had frightened him. He didn't know what it was, but he knew it was precious. Ziyao smiled and looked at Shiryen. Shiryen knew that the precious treasure in Evelyn's eyes was just a plain item in Ziyao's eyes. He grinned and said, "Take it for the girl. Of course, she can't absorb the energy in that crystal right away. However, it can accelerate her god power accumulating speed by 10 times. Even when she reaches the immortal realm, she won't be able to absorb all the energy in it." Hearing him, Evelyn's hand, which was holding the crystal heart, quivered. Little Ya was bewildered. The other members of the Heavenly Eye clan were also skeptical as they didn't know if Shiryen told them the truth. It was just a small crystal, but the energy it stored could help Little Ya until she reached the immortal realm. Was it really that precious? Also, if it was really that precious, why would she give it away easily like that? Was it just a simple item in their eyes? A series of doubts wound around the hearts of the Heavenly Eye clan members. As they didn't have high echelons, they didn't dare to question the others. They just looked bewilderedly. Evelyn's pondered for a while and then received the crystal. He thanked Ziyao so many times and then guided them towards the crack on the territory barrier. Through the cracks on the territory barrier, Shiryen and Ziyao had entered the territory where the Heavenly Eye clan dwelled. As soon as they got in there, the torn part on the territory barrier mended magically inside the space energy ripples. Of course, the members of the Heavenly Eye clan didn't know anything. Musing Rain territory wasn't really big. Shi Yan's soul consciousness reached out and covered half of the territory quickly. He had observed many life stars to know the generation situations of this territory. I'm taking you to the teleport formation to jump to our holy land. Masha and Adams are there. After Evelyn's had received the flaming crystal, he was somehow afraid of Shi Yan and Ziyao. He led them to the nearest teleport formation. Along the way, he was so gingerly. He found that he couldn't see through Shi Yan. He wasn't confident to remind the man of the agreement they had made in the past. He was afraid that Shi Yan would deny him. Along the way, Little Ya and Little Yi had murmured with the other young warriors of the Heavenly Eye clan. They were so curious about Shi Yan and Ziyao as they made guesses about their realm and cultivation base. Most of them thought that Shi Yan and Ziyao were at first sky of Immortal Realm. Little Yi made a risky guess. The two of them had reached second sky of Immortal Realm. Swoosh! White halos expanded as the teleport formation was activated. It had teleported them through dozens of planets directly to the holy land of the Heavenly Eye clan. The Heavenly Eye star looked like a realistic eye, though. It was the holy land of the Heavenly Eye clan where generations of their race had dwelled, cultivated, and worshipped their ancestors. The spirit chi on this planet wasn't thin. The vast forest occupied 3/4 of the planet. The rest of the land had many lakes that were all crystal clear. The water in the lake was so fresh and clean that they could drink it directly. Many cities, big and small, were situated in the forest. The warriors of the Heavenly Eye clan were moving in and out, some of them flying in the sky. There were 7 big, crystal-like lakes in the southwest part of this planet. It was the Heavenly Eye clan's holy land where they made many big statues. The vertical eyes on the forehead of the statues all opened and released a 5-colored divine light. Those were the statues of the former experts who had made a great contribution to the clan. Shi Yan saw a new statue around 10 meters made of some blue stone stood there. Surprisingly, it was Evelyn's. Many warriors of the Heavenly Eye clan were standing at the foot of the statue, bowing to show their respect. Not bad, your fellows made you a statue, Shi Yan teased him after landing. It's embarrassing, said Evelyn's reluctantly. My teacher has helped our Heavenly Eye clan establish the alliance with the mysterious Sky clan. It's his merit that we can depend on the strong mysterious Sky clan. With his great contribution to the clan, our chief and the elders agreed that he was qualified to receive the worshipping from our fellows. One of Evelyn's apprentices explained, his face red. He had considered Evelyn's his proud teacher for more than 100 years. Shi Yan just smiled and walked through the lines of statues as he thought that it was interesting. Ziyao walked shoulder by shoulder with him. Evelyn's became more embarrassed. More than anyone else, he knew that the Heavenly Eye clan could depend on the mysterious Sky clan because Tu Shi and Ye Yun had considered Shi Yan's face. Otherwise, the Heavenly Eye clan wasn't eligible to become a clan under the mysterious Sky clan. Chapter 1544, Dispel Doubts. Chapter 1544, Dispel Doubts. The holy land of the Heavenly Eye clan was situated in the middle of the 7 crystal clear lakes where thick earth and heaven energy hovered. The giant statues were also temples that they used to worship. Those temples were tall and vast. Many elders of the Heavenly Eye clan stayed there to cultivate. The chief of the Heavenly Eye clan stayed in the biggest temple where he solved all the matters of the Heavenly Eye clan. Evelyn's teacher used to be the great elder of the clan. He was gone in the battle with the experts from the adjacent territory. Evelyn's, Masha, and Adams weren't eligible to stay in the Holy Land, and they weren't the elders of the clan. Returning from the sea domain of Nihility, Evelyn's had helped establish the alliance with the mysterious Sky clan. With this great merit, Evelyn's, Adams, and Mash had become the elders of the Heavenly Eye clan. They finally got their lots in those temples. Evelyn's was the senior and he had contributed greatly to the clan. After the elders of the Heavenly Eye clan had discussed, they had even built him his own temple. Many fellows of the Heavenly Eye clan considered Evelyn's an important officer of the clan. The young warriors would visit and worship his statue regularly. Evelyn's apprentices also considered him their pride. Thus, when Shi Yan teased him, they couldn't help but retort. Shi Yan just smiled and asked Evelyn's to lead the way. He strolled past the temples. The area in front of us is the center of the Holy Land. Without permission from the chief, we can't get in there. Please understand. Evelyn's halted and spoke embarrassedly. Adams and Masha are inside the temple. I'm going there to call them to meet you personally. Shiryen wasn't interested in the Holy Land of the Heavenly Eye clan at all. He went to the clan just to find a place to rest. He nodded when Evelyn's told him to wait. Evelyn's told his disciples to wait outside. He walked alone to the temple. 1 hour later, he returned with Masha and Adams. When Adams and Masha saw Shiryen, they were so excited that they screamed from a distance. On behalf of the fellows of the entire Heavenly Eye clan, thank you for visiting us. Little Ya, Little Yi, and the other young fellows of the Heavenly Eye clan were so surprised when they saw Adams treat Shiryen humbly. Adams was always a proud expert. Thank him on behalf of the Heavenly Eye clan's fellows. They were bewildered as they didn't know why the Heavenly Eye clan had to be grateful to Shiryen. They thought that Adams talked about big things, so they didn't dig further. There were so many members of the Heavenly Eye clan gathering around the statues. They were talking boisterously. However, hearing the commotion over there, they couldn't help but notice the group of warriors. At first glance, they saw Evelyn's, Adams, and Masha. They were all surprised and excited, hurrying to approach him. Elder Evelyn's. You are Elder Evelyn's. Please bless me. Elder Adams, Elder Masha. Holy moly. You came out of the temple. I'm so glad I met you here. Please show me the way to cultivate my power Upanishad. Elder Evelyn's. The boisterous, excited noises arose. The young fellow's eyes brightened, and they tried to get through the crowd to meet their idols. Evelyn's hurriedly spoke when he saw the situation turn wrong. We'll talk somewhere else. He rose his hand to grab. Bands of starlight turned into a fabric sheet and covered his disciples. Together with Masha and Adams, they disappeared. Shiryen flickered his mind and his figure faded away with Ziyao. When they reappeared, they were in a small ravine outside the temple area in the Holy Land. It was a quiet place with strong barriers outside where a lot of towers and buildings with elegant and interesting architecture were built. Evelyn's teacher used to live here to cultivate. Sometimes, when Evelyn's and the other two needed to discuss privately, they came here. It wasn't far from the Holy Land, though. Why did you come to our Heavenly Eye clan this time? As Forefather Dragon Lizard had given Masha an immortal pellet, she had entered the immortal realm. Similarly, she was now one of the Heavenly Eye clan's elders. More than anyone else, she knew her today's attainment was all because of Shiryen. Thus, she sounded more respectful to Shiryen than Adams. I just passed by and I saw Evelyn's. That's why I came to visit you guys, Shiryen smiled. The chief is busy treating the experts of the Fiery Phoenix tribe. He's not free. After he's done, we will treat you well. Evelyn's pressed his voice. Fiery Phoenix tribe. Zia wore a strange face, her eyes interested as if she knew this race. The Fiery Phoenix tribe is very famous in the sea domain of Nihility. The rumors say that it's similar to the Dragon Lizard clan. They are the later generations of an absolute beginning creature. Anyway, the Fiery Phoenix tribe is fiercer. The Fiery Phoenix tribe has one territory ancestor. They are dependent on the mysterious Sky clan too, but they are more powerful than our Heavenly Eye clan. Evelyn's explained to Shiryen, the Fiery Phoenix tribe's territory is pretty close to our Heavenly Eye clan. After we followed the mysterious Sky clan, they told us to create a good relationship with the Fiery Phoenix tribe. Our Heavenly Eye clan and the other smaller races around here consider the Fiery Phoenix tribe our master. We will do what they ask us to do. Shiryen was interested in neither the competition between the small clans nor the treat of the Heavenly Eye clan's chief. He shook his head and waved his hands. We don't want to bother your chief. We are just passing by for a while. I'm glad to see you guys again. We've traveled for a long time. We're really tired. If you don't mind, we want to stay there to cultivate for a while. Masha was smart enough to understand. She hurriedly nodded, right, you should rest first. After you recover, we will come to see you. Then, she grabbed her two seniors and took their juniors to leave. Why are you so hurried? After leaving the ravine, Evelyn's was a little discontent, rolling his eyes at his sister. We made an agreement with him that year. I was afraid that he would forget it, so I was about to remind him. Why did you act hastily? They want to have some private time. You idiots. You don't have good vision, smiled Masha. Hearing her, Evelyn's and Adam's understood the situation. Since Shiryen was still there, they shouldn't be hurried, though. Oh hey, the Fiery Phoenix Tribe experts came here again. What's the matter? Evelyn's wore a dark, complicated face. The Heavenly Eye clan and the Fiery Phoenix Tribe were similar. They were both dependent on the mysterious Sky clan. However, the Heavenly Eye clan was a lot weaker than the Fiery Phoenix Tribe. Thus, the Fiery Phoenix Tribe had deemed themselves as the leader of the territories around this area. It was true that the Fiery Phoenix Tribe had helped the Heavenly Eye clan subdue the surrounding small races. However, they didn't do that for nothing. They had asked for many flaming crystal mines in the Heavenly Eye clan's territory. The members of the Fiery Phoenix Tribe cultivated fire power Upanishad, so they had already dug all the flaming crystal ores in their territory. They had asked most of the territories that were connected to the Fiery Phoenix Tribe for the flaming crystals too. The Fiery Phoenix Tribe didn't have an alliance with the Heavenly Eye clan before. However, since they were both dependent on the mysterious Sky clan and the Fiery Phoenix Tribe had helped the Heavenly Eye clan threaten their enemies, they naturally used their tentacles to reach the Heavenly Eye clan's territory and asked the Heavenly Eye clan to offer them the mines full of ores. This time, the experts of the Fiery Phoenix Tribe had come with many mine slaves. They were about to exploit their new mines. They didn't bring enough mine slaves. They want us to provide them with mine slaves to exploit the flaming crystals, said Adams with a forced smile. They've asked for too much. We've already given the mines and now, they want even the mine slaves. They haven't helped us much or fought against the others for us. They just yelled at those enemy forces. And they've asked too much, Evelyn snorted. We're both dependent on the mysterious Sky clan. They didn't mean harm to us. In this area, the Fiery Phoenix Tribe is the strongest clan. Sigh, we have no choice. They have a territory ancestor and their echelon in the mysterious Sky clan is also higher than us, sighed Adams. Forget it, Evelyn's knew that they didn't have a choice. They had to be subtly patient. Inside the ravine, after Evelyn's and his people left, Shiryen smiled faintly. Well, talking about the Fiery Phoenix Tribe, your face looked strange. Do you know them? After being in the sea domain of nihility, I got more knowledge. The Fiery Phoenix Tribe? I ate their ancestor, Xiao said casually. Shiryen understood that Xiao was Huey's clone, a part of Huey's soul. But now, after she had swallowed Huey's soul, she had considered herself Hui. She got all the memories from the Absolute Beginning era. The ancestor of the Fiery Phoenix Tribe was also an Absolute Beginning creature. Why did you eat it? Shiryen was curious. Xiao pondered for a while and then said, How much do you know about the Absolute Beginning era? You have 2 of Desolate's soul clones, don't you? Just the fragments of memories. I can't combine them. I know bits of things. I don't actually know that era's situation in detail, said Shiryen begrudgingly. Looking at him, Xiao beamed. Then I should tell you the details. You should have a good grasp of it. Shiryen smiled. He wanted to find a quiet place to talk to Xiao about that extinct epic to erase the mist in his mind. It was a magical time where creatures had giant bodies. In that era, when the creatures were born, they already reached ethereal god realm. We didn't need to cultivate like the current races from king god realm to ethereal god realm. We started with ethereal god realm. We were lucky that the earth and heaven energy at that time was extremely thick. It was easy to cultivate and make fast progress. There was no territory in that era. The entire world was an infinite sea of stars with billions of planets. There was no space barrier. The sea of stars didn't have a border. It could elongate forever. No one knew if it had ended. Until our era ended, no one ever found the end of the vast sea of stars. The earth and heaven could produce divine weapons in that area. Take your Skyfall Star River as an example. It was actually a piece of the sea of stars. It had slowly gained consciousness and soul energy. Qin found it. He had refined for thousands of years and made it Skyfall Star River. Unfortunately, Qin had fallen in that war. The Skyfall Star River went missing. You found it unexpectedly. Xiao told him the magnificent intimidation of that era. Why did you fight against each other? What was that war for? Shi Yan squinted and asked seriously. To be stronger, of course. Chapter 1545, Absolute Beginning. Chapter 1545, Absolute Beginning. In our time, there weren't countless creatures like there are now. There were just several thousand of us, and most of us didn't have a high realm. However, in that era, the creatures were still much stronger than they are now. In that era, each piece of the sea of stars belonged to one creature. Each existence had its own territory. The territories of the weak ones got thin earth and heaven energy and poor natural resources. The experts claimed the best areas with rich resources. In the beginning, they would fight from time to time, but it wouldn't become a large-scale war. They had lived like that for so many years. The powerful creatures had reached extremely high realms like second or even third sky of territory ancestor realm. Later on, all the experts were stuck at third sky of territory ancestor realm. No one knew how to cultivate to advance further. All the intimidating creatures were trapped. They couldn't break through again. After that, a rumor arose saying that the more essence blood of the absolute beginning creatures we gathered, the greater the chance that we could break the bottleneck to complete ourselves and enter the ultimate realm that no one knows. Some believed in it and began to kill the lower realm creatures to take their blood to improve their own blood. Unexpectedly, it worked. That pioneer became significantly stronger. It began to slaughter the weaker creatures to complete its blood and get stronger. That trend expanded like a monstrous fire. No one could stop it in the vast sea of stars. All the absolute beginning creatures joined it to become stronger or to just defend themselves. They murdered each other. The strong sucked the blood of the weak, and they could be killed by another stronger expert. The universe that had been calm for so many years shattered because of the constant battles for tens of thousands of years. So many planets broke. The world was destroyed. Races went extinct. The creatures that could survive were all the strongest. However, to enter the world behind the territory ancestor realm, the competition hadn't ended yet. And the result was that when the absolute beginning era ended, most of the creatures were killed. The survivors were hurt severely and left in a long coma. Desolate, Devourer, and we were wounded experts that had to sleep for a long time. When they woke up, it was another era. Ziyao explained the cause of the Great War in her era. She didn't talk about the details of the last, brutal battle. However, Shi Yan could imagine how horribly tremendous it was. All was because of a rumor? Shi Yan was surprised. It was not a rumor. It was true. We've proven it. Absorbing the absolute beginning blood from others is how we can actually complete ourselves and evolve our life form to reach another height. If it wasn't been true, there would have been no tragic fights like that. Our time wouldn't have ended, said Ziyao. Is it true that they could absorb absolute beginning blood to transform? Shi Yan was amazed. Rumor said that before the dawn of this earth and heaven there was only one dormant creature in the universe. It was called Absolute Beginning. No one knew what it actually was or how it was created. They said that it had created the world. It was the fountain of everything and the reason we have the world today. Legends say that after the world was created, it had used all the energy, so it had fallen. Its body exploded into so many pieces that developed into absolute beginning creatures. The absolute beginning blood in our bodies is the pure blood from absolute beginning. We can absorb each other to slowly develop and become absolute beginning creatures. We guessed that if we got all the absolute beginning blood, we could become absolute beginning. It's absurd. Shi Yan shook his head. No, it's not absurd. I believe it's real. Ziyao pulled a stern face and looked at Shi Yan deep in his eyes. The Power Upanishad symbol tower you got is the key to opening the Absolute Beginning Gateway. When you open the Absolute Beginning Gateway, you can enter Absolute Beginning's head and get the ultimate Power Upanishad, the source and the beginning of creatures. Shi Yan was dazed. The Power Upanishad symbol tower is the key to opening the Absolute Beginning Gateway? Is that true? The Power Upanishad symbol tower was made of the piece of Absolute Beginning's skull. It was really magical. Rumors said that only the Power Upanishad symbol tower could open the Absolute Beginning Gateway where there were the utmost powers. Ziyao didn't sound like she was joking. That's why all creatures wanted to take the Power Upanishad symbol tower. So the absolute beginning gateway is real? Do you know where it is? Shiryen wore an awkward face. I do. In fact, our last battle had taken place right in front of the absolute beginning gateway. Because the rumor also said that after we got enough absolute beginning blood, we could break the gateway directly to enter absolute beginning skull. Unfortunately, Desolate was the strongest at that time, but he couldn't reach it. The Power Upanishad symbol tower hadn't been finished at that time. When the new era started, it was finished. It's the key. If we got the Power Upanishad symbol tower at that time, we would have been able to open the absolute beginning gateway, cried Ziyao. Her explanation of the absolute beginning era, the Power Upanishad symbol tower, and absolute beginning had opened a new door for Shiryen and showing Head the views of a totally contrasting era. Ziyao had helped him fill his incomplete memories. Finally, he got some knowledge and impressions of that era. Absolute beginning scripture and images had become clear in his co-soul. They were the images of an earth-shaking war. It was the bloody battle between Desolate and so many giant absolute beginning creatures. All of them were extremely brutal and gory. Shiryen closed his eyes and shivered. He was feeling the mind-shaking memory of the war. He wanted to feel the terrifying, ruthless intimidation and more secrets of that era. After a long time, he escaped those haunting images. With a heavy face, he couldn't say a word. You believe me now? Asked Ziyao. After nodding, Shiryen sighed emotionally. Yeah, I do. You can't fake memories. The battles that Desolate previously joined are deep in my head. Right in this ravine, Shiryen and Ziyao discussed the secrets of the absolute beginning era and many legends of that time. Until he felt the changes in his acupuncture points, he said, I need to refine energy. Ziyao smiled brightly. I know you cultivate exotic power Upanishads. Yeah, you should take these people. Kill them to increase your power. The divine halos covered Neptune, Keith, Oliver, and some experts of the 5 clans and delivered them to Shiryen. Shiryen grinned. He didn't try to be polite and just grabbed Neptune and the others, pulling them into his territory. He then used the devouring power Upanishad to swallow them all. At the same time, Ziyao used her soul consciousness, which was the 7-colored divine light, to tie Jia and I and Xiao Lai. You guys aren't members of the 7 clans. Your blood is very suitable for my imprint. I will print my seal in your soul altar. If you cooperate, you may live. Otherwise, you will perish shortly. She didn't even give Xiao Lai and Jia and I the right to talk and just took them back into her world. Shiryen and Ziyao used their energy to refine Neptune, Xiao Lai, Jia and I, and the others in the ravine. Temple, Heavenly Eye Clan's holy land, outside the ravine. Evelyn's, Adams, and Masha united after several months. Oh wow, Littleya, you've broken through to the new realm? Ethereal God realm. Masha cried in surprise and looked at Evelyn's apprentice, her face puzzled. Evelyn smiled. I called you here also for that. For Littleya. Yeah, Evelyn's nodded and said to Littleya, show your uncle and aunt that red crystal. Littleya carefully took out the flaming crystal that Ziyao had gifted her and held it tight. It had been several months since she began to use this little crystal to gather god power. She had broken through to ethereal god realm. Previously, Shiryen said that the energy from the flaming crystal could increase her progress 10 times. Also, it could be like that until the immortal realm. She didn't buy it. Littleya thought the same, and her teacher Evelyn's was skeptical. However, she believed it now. From that little flaming crystal, she could feel the endless energy. Here's the crystal. Shiryen's woman gave it to me. The power inside is incredible. Evelyn's looked excited. However, that's not the most important thing about it. Littleya, show them. Littleya hurried to urge energy. The red-orange flame arose from her little palm. They could see a dancing flame inside the crystal, which then turned into a phoenix bathing in the fiery flame that looked so real. That phoenix raised its head and spread its wings, releasing extreme heat waves as if it wanted to get rid of the crystal. Adams and Masha were bewildered. Adams was bewildered for a while and became shaken. It's similar to the totem of the fiery phoenix tribe. It's the reason why I called you up. Evelyn's took a deep breath, his face serious. Because it's so similar to the holy totem of the Fiery Phoenix tribe, and it has terrifying energy. I'm doubtful. I want you to help me with this. Masha and Adams exchanged looks. They didn't know what happened. However, at this moment, the chief of the Heavenly Eye clan was welcoming a group of Fiery Phoenix tribe experts led by a senile old man. This expert was the pride of the Fiery Phoenix tribe, the only territory ancestor. The chestplate of his beautiful armor had the totem of a phoenix bathing in fire. As the chief of the Heavenly Eye clan respectfully received them, the old man screamed crazily as soon as he landed on the surface of the planet. He ditched everybody behind and headed directly to Evelyn's temple. Chapter 1546, Fire-Bathing Phoenix. Chapter 1546, Fire-Bathing Phoenix. What happened with Patriarch Chauncey? A middle-aged man of the Fiery Phoenix tribe looked surprised. He couldn't help but turn to Cornet, the chief of the Heavenly Eye clan, his eyes turning sharp. What the heck is your Heavenly Eye clan doing? What did you do to make the Patriarch like that? Cornet and the elders of the Heavenly Eye clan were bewildered. They were anxious as they didn't know what was going on. If something trivial you did enraged Patriarch Chauncey. The voice of the Fiery Phoenix tribe middle-aged man was threatening. Cornet's changed his visage. He looked further and found that it was Evelyn's temple that Chauncey had aimed at. They were so frightened. Move. Let's see what's going on over there. The warriors of the Fiery Phoenix tribe left Cornet's team behind. They turned into jets of lights and shot towards Evelyn's temple. There were many young warriors of the Heavenly Eye clan that came to worship the statues around. They saw the shooting flames fall on one of the temples. They were panic-stricken as they tried to see what had just happened. OF***CK. It's the members of the Fiery Phoenix tribe again. Someone cursed indignantly. My family has 3 abundant flaming crystal mines. They robbed us without a proper explanation. Those Fiery Phoenix tribe clansmen are all hot-tempered. They often mess things up in our territory. They're such a pain in the ass. Let alone you guys, we are in the same situation. What else can we do? The Fiery Phoenix tribe is so powerful. Chauncey's at the territory ancestor realm. In the mysterious Sky Clan's point of view, they are heavier than us. Of course, we can't compete with them. We have to endure. Sigh, we have to be patient all the time. Those members of the Fiery Phoenix tribe are too haughty. They've claimed our mines, and even asked us to find the mine slaves for them. If it continues that way, it will be even worse than before. The Fiery Phoenix tribe got it done on their own. I think the mysterious Sky Clan didn't know that. If we can report it to the key members of the mysterious Sky Clan, I think we can subside the Fiery Phoenix tribe's effects. There is no use. The mysterious Sky Clan will only consider the Fiery Phoenix tribe's voice. They don't care about us. They have the territory ancestor, so the mysterious Sky Clan has to give them face. What do we have? It's unimaginable that we can be dependent on the mysterious Sky Clan. What could we ask for me? Many members of the Fiery Phoenix tribe turned into jets of flames and naded on the Holy Land. Seeing them, the warriors of the mysterious Sky Clan cursed under their breath. Dirty mouths. Right at this moment came a smirk from a member of the Fiery Phoenix tribe from a jet of fire. The red-orange flames like fireballs fell from the sky and exploded right in the middle of the clamoring crowd. The young warriors of the Heavenly Eye clan were charred and wounded. Damn, they dared to attack us right in our holy land. The members of the Heavenly Eye clan couldn't help but scream and roar. The disciples of the Big Elders wanted to counterattack. At this moment, Corner, the chief of the Heavenly Eye clan, landed and rolled his eyes at them. They then shut their mouths and stopped acting rashly in front of the chief. However, their outrageous eyes were still fixed on one Fiery Phoenix tribe warrior, a haughty young man at the incipient god realm and with long red hair. He was Chauncey's apprentice called Hong Fei, who belonged to the aristocratic class of the Fiery Phoenix tribe. Hong Fei hovered in the air and looked down on the young warriors of the Heavenly Eye clan while smirking. After Corner came to Hong Fei, he shouted at his fellows and smiled to calm Hong Fei down. Hong Fei laughed loudly and swung his hands. He didn't even give Cornet face, walking directly to the temple Chauncey had landed. He ditched Corner at his spot. Cornet's face turned from pale to white as he tried to suppress his anger. He rolled his eyes at his fellows and left hurriedly. The members of the Heavenly Eye clan under Hong Fei's attack were so outraged. They felt so humiliated. Hong Fei disdaining their chief made them more irritated than when their bodies got hurt. He was looking down on their entire race. Shortly after, Cornet and the elders of the Heavenly Eye clan, Hong Fei and the warriors of the Fiery Phoenix tribe had gathered by Evelyn's temple. At this moment, Chauncey's eyes were so hot. He was holding a flaming crystal with both hands, his body shaking in excitement. The elders of the Heavenly Eye clan, including Evelyn's, Masha, and Adams, grimaced. They looked at Chauncey indignantly. "Master, it's mine." Lilia mumbled and rolled her eyes at Chauncey of the Fiery Phoenix tribe. This old man doesn't know what's right or wrong. He didn't say anything and just snatched my thing. Why is he so arrogant? Chauncey had suddenly landed in front of Evelyn's, Masha, and Adams and snatched the flaming crystal gifted by Ziyao. Then, he ignored the questions from Evelyn's team and remained completely absorbed in the fire-bathing phoenix inside the crystal. He didn't even bat his eyes at Evelyn's team. Hong Fei and the members of the Fiery Phoenix tribe saw Chauncey hold the flaming crystal with both hands and mumble to himself. Hong Fei was bewildered at first. But then, the dancing phoenix inside the flaming crystal had dazed him. He stammered, It's our ancestors' totem. It's a large piece of a broken soul altar. My gosh, how could it be? How could it be?" At this moment, all the members of the Fiery Phoenix tribe were frightened. The fire energy on their bodies became uncontrollable. Chauncey woke up from his excitement. He clutched the flaming crystal and took a deep breath to calm down his restless mind. He then asked Evelyn's, "Where did you get this flaming crystal?" He didn't sound like he wanted to return the thing. He wanted to take it and find out its source. If Evelyn's team didn't give him a satisfied answer, he would kill them all for the totem of his ancestor. If Evelyn's got the crystal from an illegitimate source. Swish, swish, swish. The scorching heat increased in the entire temple. Chauncey became a massive fireball. In this moment, the fiery phoenix on his garment was revived. It was slowly gathering energy. As Chauncey was gazing at Evelyn's, he felt horror-struck as if Chauncey would burn him into ashes in just a blink of an eye. Cornet was frightened. He screamed continuously, "Evelyn's. Do not conceal. Do not conceal anything. You tell him all that you know. We are all dependent on the mysterious Sky Clan. As long as we make ourselves clear, I'm sure Precursor Chauncey won't trouble us." He was scared, so he had to mention the mysterious Sky Clan. He hoped that Chauncey would give the mysterious Sky Clan face and not act rashly. "Don't worry. If you tell the truth, I won't trouble you," Chauncey squinted. "But if you hide anything, haha. Even the mysterious Sky Clan won't be able to stop me from finishing you. This flaming crystal is a piece of our ancestors' broken soul altar. It's our legendary sacred item. We must know where you got it." Evelyn's was shaken hard. He considered and then said, "It was from a friend's wife. She gifted it to my student. We didn't know that this flaming crystal was related to your ancestor. We didn't know anything." "Of course, you knew nothing. Otherwise, you wouldn't have dared to take it out." "Haha, I didn't want to go to your Heavenly Eye clan. I didn't expect to get such a big harvest." Chauncey laughed contentedly, fire winding around his body. He didn't linger and just spoke resolutely. "Where's the one who gave you this crystal? Tell me the truth. I won't trouble you. Otherwise, you know what will happen to you." Spit it out." Cornet was so restless, as if he had a flame burning his heart. He was afraid that Chauncey would spray his flame of anger at the entire Heavenly Eye clan. Seeing Evelyn's hesitate, he urged, "You don't want to put our clan in danger, do you? Evelyn's, for your teacher's sake, tell us the truth." Hong Fei, barricade the Heavenly Eye clan's holy land. "Now," Chauncey ordered and frowned. The warriors of the Fiery Phoenix tribe scattered immediately, turning into bands of fire and hovering about the holy land of the Heavenly Eye clan. Most of them were at Profound Realms with at least 6 or 7 experts at the Immortal Realm. They instantly set up a scorching sea of fire above the Heavenly Eye clan's holy land. The fiery band temporarily sealed the Heavenly Eye clan's holy land entirely. No outsider could get in there. At the same time, the elders inside the Holy Land couldn't get out unless they tore that flaming barrier. The members of the Heavenly Eye clan surrounding the Holy Land were frightened. They hastily sent information to their families and told them that the experts of the Fiery Phoenix tribe had intruded on their Holy Land. Instantly, all the families and forces in the Heavenly Eye clan were shaken. The experts then gathered at their max speed. They had to risk their lives to protect the glory of the Holy Land. They understood that they couldn't resist the Fiery Phoenix tribe, so they tried to contact the mysterious Sky Clan. Too bad for them, the sound stone that could contact the mysterious Sky Clan was inside the Holy Land. As their Holy Land was sealed, they couldn't contact the mysterious Sky Clan. The Holy Land of the Heavenly Eye clan. Hong Fei and the experts of the Fiery Phoenix tribe left and returned quickly. Hong Fei grinned, "Master, we have control of the Soundstone connecting to the mysterious Sky Clan. They can't report anything to mysterious Sky Clan." This man had followed Chauncey for years. He understood his teacher well. He understood his teacher's idea from just a wink. "Well done." Chauncey nodded. As he knew the situation was under control and the Heavenly Eye clan couldn't wiggle, he turned to Evelyn's one more time. A dim flame arose in his eyes. "Now, tell me, where did you get this flaming crystal?" Chapter 1547, Court Death. Chapter 1547, Court Death. Chauncey led the members of the Fiery Phoenix tribe to the small ravine near the Heavenly Eye clan's Holy Land. Cornet and the experts of the Heavenly Eye clan couldn't avoid this. They had to come as Chauncey had requested them. More than 100 warriors at high realms gathered outside the ravine where Evelyn's, Adam's, and Masha's late teacher used to live. When they got there, Evelyn's looked grimaced. He was so reluctant and just stood still. He didn't want to disclose Shiryan and Ziyao's spot, but he didn't have a choice. He couldn't pay the price of his race's destruction to protect Shiryan and Ziyao. Chauncey also said that he had only wanted to know the flaming crystal's identity. He didn't want to kill her. Evelyn's could only think positively. After he took them here, he planned to get in there and talk to Shiryan and Ziyao first. However, after walking one step towards the ravine, he was shaken hard. A tender but irresistible force like a river drowned him and pushed him away. Even though he was at second sky of a mortal realm, Evelyn's couldn't believe it. He'd tried several times, but couldn't get through it. Reluctantly, he backed off dispiritedly and shook his head. "The barrier outside the ravine is modified. I can't get in there." "Precursor Chauncey, please take a look," asked Cornet. "Okay, let me break the barrier," sneered the only territory ancestor of the Fiery Phoenix tribe, striding towards the ravine. Boom! A massive fiery phoenix flew out of the sea of fire above Chauncey's head. That fiery phoenix was made of pure energy and soul consciousness from Chauncey. It used his blood, and it was created by the secret technique of fire power Upanishad. It could burn everything into ashes. Boom! Boom! The fiery phoenix released its furious flames and burned the barriers, which created loud noises. Chauncey wore a calm and relaxed face, waiting for the barrier to melt down. After that, he was going to storm into the ravine. Everybody waited with different visages. The members of the Fiery Phoenix tribe wore haughty faces. They didn't really consider the Heavenly Eye clan worth anything. Thus, they thought that the Heavenly Eye clan's friends wouldn't be fierce. They thought that they could get into the ravine soon. Evelyn's and the others were restless and insecure. They were fearful as they didn't know what to tell Shiryan when they met. Time flew quietly. After 1 hour, Patriarch Chauncey of the Fiery Phoenix tribe looked stern. As that fiery phoenix was burning for more than 1 hour, regardless of what kind of barrier it was, it should have melted already. However, he recognized that the barrier didn't look like it consumed all the energy to resist the heat. Chauncey felt that something was wrong. He vaguely guessed that the warriors behind the barrier were also at the Territory Ancestor Realm too. Only if they were at the Territory Ancestor Realm, Chauncey couldn't burn all the energy of the barrier shortly. When this thought came to him, he became cautious. A moment later, the flame was still burning, but Chauncey had lost his patience. A beautiful woman walked through the flaming barrier. It was a beautiful woman whose face was filled with bizarre but pretty tattoos. She wore a cold face, and she had a mark of a cyan snake on her forehead. As soon as she emerged, Chauncey was frightened. He couldn't help but scream, "Jia and I, how could it be you?" The sea of fire retreated. Jia and I of the secret pattern tribe walked to Chauncey, her face cold and her eyes showing a murderous aura. "Chauncey, what are you doing here? Will it be interesting to start a battle here?" Jia and I and Judy of the mysterious Sky Clan were sworn sisters, but the secret pattern tribe wasn't dependent on the mysterious Sky Clan. In the sea domain of nihility, the secret pattern tribe was really powerful. It was just behind the 7 Great Clan, and it was much stronger than the fiery Phoenix tribe. Similarly, Jia and I was more intimidating than Chauncey, whether they were talking about power or echelons. Chief Cornet of the Heavenly Eye clan was frightened too. He had never met Jia and I, but he knew her name. He knew that she was a fierce warrior with a noble position. Seeing Jia and I walk out of the ravine, Cornet was both happy and frightened. He continuously gave Evelyn signals to ask him to clear the situation. Evelyn and his disciples were dumbstruck and gawking. They remembered clearly that they had brought Shiryan and Ziyao into the ravine. How come Jia and I walked out from there? Evelyn pondered for a while. Suddenly, his face changed as he shouted, "What did you do to Shiryan?" He looked at Jia and I furiously as he thought that Jia and I had killed Shiryan and Ziyao in the ravine. Evelyn was so regretful that he blamed himself for that incident. Jia and I oddly looked at Evelyn. She curled her lips but said nothing. "Jia and I shouldn't ask anything, but this flaming crystal is very important. I want to know the details." Hesitating for a while, Chauncey proactively became humble. He didn't sound arrogant anymore. He didn't dare to strut around. "If you know the situation, please tell me. Did you kill the other 2? After Evelyn screamed his question, Chauncey understood the situation. He knew Shiryan's name. He thought that Jia and I had chased Shiryan until she came here. He thought that because she walked out alone, she might have killed Shiryan and the other. No matter what, Jia and I was famous due to her territory ancestor realm. Perhaps her competence was 1 level higher than his. Jia and I looked at Chauncey and said, "For Judy's sake, I suggest that you give back the flaming crystal to that little girl and take your team out of Musing Rain territory as quickly as possible. You shouldn't concern yourself with that crystal anymore." Hearing her, all the members of the fiery Phoenix tribe discolored in fear. Chauncey's face gradually darkened as he snorted, "Jia and I humbled myself. You shouldn't disdain me. Do you think I'm afraid of you? Even if we have to fight, I'm not scared. You think you can kill me?" As they were both at the territory ancestor realm and Chauncey was slightly weaker, he didn't think that Jia and I could defeat him. He thought that Jia and I deliberately threatened him, which had enraged him. "You think I'm threatening you?" Jia and I smiled. The cyan snake mark on her forehead twitched strangely. "You mean we're good?" snorted Chauncey. Jia and I didn't want to explain further. She turned to look at the ravine behind her as she said, "The barrier is lifted. If you want to get in, I won't stop you. I just hope that you can think clearly whether you want to get in there or not." "Why wouldn't I?" Chauncey was confident. He urged his fire power Upanishad and became a flaming man, strolling towards the ravine. Many members of the fiery Phoenix tribe and the Heavenly Eye clan curiously watched him. They tried to guess what Jia and I meant as they didn't know the situation. "What did you do to Shiryan?" Evelyn shouted at Jia and I. Jia and I glanced at him, her face bitter. "What could I do to him?" Evelyn was surprised and screamed, "You're at first sky of territory ancestor realm. How could you not do anything to him? Is he stronger than you?" As people were very surprised, Chauncey walked into the ravine and Jia and I stayed outside. The members of the fiery Phoenix tribe and the Heavenly Eye clan found that it was very strange. They tried to look through the cliff and listen to any commotion from there. Inside the ravine, Shiryan was still cultivating, his eyes closed. Ziyao opened her eyes and watched Chauncey, a big cluster of fire, come. She smiled gently and squinted to assess him. She nodded tenderly at the territory ancestor realm. "You already activated the absolute beginning blood. You have some value, though." Chauncey wore a cold face. "You're the one who gave my ancestors' piece of broken soul altar away? Where did you get that?" Where Zia smiled as bright as sunshine. Of course, from your ancestor. I killed your ancestor and took its absolute beginning blood and everything else. Yeah, it's simple like that. So, how did I get it, you say? Hearing her, Chauncey was scared out of his wits. He observed Ziyao and found snakes moving and twisting inside her eyes. An extremely terrifying aura diffused and filled the entire ravine. Gosh, Chauncey screeched inside the ravine. He finally recognized how fierce the beautiful woman standing in front of him was. He believed Ziyao immediately. The absolute beginning creature that had killed and eaten up his ancestor was right here. In this instant shock, he knew that Jia and I had offered him a good suggestion. He regretted deeply that he shouldn't enter this gorge. He shouldn't court death himself. Unfortunately, at that moment, the ravine was sealed one more time. He didn't have a chance to escape his fate. That small amount of absolute beginning blood can recover my power a bit. So, you're going to die. Zia smiled. She conjured billions of dazzling divine light and turned into snakes that coiled Chauncey and pulled him to her world of divine light. People outside the ravine heard Chauncey screech terrifyingly and slowly subside. Everybody shivered and stayed put. All of them, including the members of the Fiery Phoenix tribe, Hong Fei, Chauncey's apprentice, and even the chief of the Heavenly Eye clan didn't move. A warrior that could kill Chauncey easily was someone they could never imagine. What kind of peerless demon was hiding in that ravine? Swoosh! The flaming crystal flew out of the ravine and hovered in front of little Ya. Kid, I gave you this. It belongs to you. Next time, don't let people snatch it from you. Ziyao's light laughter came from the ravine. She then changed the topic. Jia and I, kill all the Fiery Phoenix tribe warriors out there for me. We don't want them to babble about this. No problem, master, replied Jia and I. As the entire Heavenly Eye clan was surprised and the Fiery Phoenix tribe warriors were fearful, she slowly took action and erased the souls of Hong Fei and the Fiery Phoenix tribe warriors who had visited the Heavenly Eye clan this time. One after another, they were all killed. Chapter 1548. Great Shock. Chapter 1548. Great Shock. Cornet and the Heavenly Eye clan fellows watched Jia and I kill the others in horror. In several minutes, she had finished murdering Hong Fei and the warriors of the Fiery Phoenix tribe. All the members of the Heavenly Eye clan gathered in this area kept their mouths shut. No one dared to make a sound. The Fiery Phoenix tribe was an extremely large force among the forces under the mysterious Sky Clan's protection. Compared to the Heavenly Eye clan, they were much more tremendous. However, even though they were a powerful force, Chauncey at the Territory Ancestor Realm was killed quickly and met the same result as his fellows. This shocked the entire Heavenly Eye clan. Cornet and Evelyn's were filled with fear. They shivered when they looked at the ravine. They all heard Ziyao's advice and Jia and I address her as master. Ziyao was Jiani's master. As Jia and I was the strongest expert of the secret pattern tribe and Judy's best friend, her reputation was well known in the entire sea domain of Nihility. Her realm was high, her identity was noble, and she was even stronger than Chauncey. She now had a master. Who could become her master? Cornet looked at Evelyn's with the hope of receiving an explanation from him. Evelyn's just gave a bitter smile and shook his head. Gosh. Chauncey and the members of the Fiery Phoenix tribe were all killed here. What should we do? Once the experts of the mysterious Sky clan find out about this, they won't forgive us, sighed an elder of the Heavenly Eye clan. He thought the sky was about to fall on their heads. Cornet maliciously threw him a glance to signal him to shut up. Then, he stood with Evelyn's by Jia and I and looked at her. The corpses of the Fiery Phoenix tribe warriors hadn't cooled yet. Jia and I stood by those corpses and wore a cold and sinister smile. You guys can tell Judy or Han Tian that I killed Chauncey and the Fiery Phoenix tribe warriors. Judy and Han Tian can come find me to talk. The Heavenly Eye clan was shaken because of her words. Han Tian? Judy. They were the two territory ancestor of the mysterious Sky clan, the characters with top power. After they became a dependent force of the mysterious Sky clan, they didn't have a chance to see these two territory ancestors. The high echelon experts of the mysterious Sky Clan that Cornet used to meet were Tu Shiqi and Yayun. They thought that Judy and Han Tian were at the peak of the pyramid, the legendary existences that they couldn't meet. My master said that they wanted to stay here for a while. Yeah, if you can contact the mysterious Sky Clan, you can tell Judy and Han Tian about this and ask them to come here, Jia and I said with a cold, natural face. If they know, they will come personally. Don't worry. They won't trouble your Heavenly Eye clan. Then, Jia and I left. She pierced through the barrier, sealing the ravine, and disappeared. Evelyn's, how do you know those fierce experts? Why didn't you tell us earlier? Said Cornet through his gritted teeth. The elders of the Heavenly Eye clan gathered and asked Evelyn's, Adam's, and Masha. They wanted to know Shurian's and Ziyao's identity and the real situation. Little Ya held the flaming crystal. She was stimulated, but she didn't know the reason. She looked at the ravine and said thanks from the bottom of her heart. Now she knew how precious this little crystal was. Even the patriarch Chauncey had come for it. She was thrilled as she got such a treasure. Chief, the fire seal the fiery phoenix tribe had set up is broken. A young man of the Heavenly Eye clan ran to them excitedly to tell them the updated situation. Cornet nodded, pondered, and spoke to Evelyn's. Contact the mysterious Sky Clan and tell them the details. I hope it what Jia and I had said will happen and the mysterious Sky Clan won't blame us. Everybody felt safe unknowingly. Jia and I was strong enough to talk to Han Tian and Judy. Moreover, her mysterious master could make Han Tian and Judy neglect Chauncey's death, which prevented them from punishing the Heavenly Eye clan. Inside the ravine, Shurian still closed his eyes to cultivate, to filter and refine Neptune's and the other soul altars and energy. At this moment, the power Upanishad symbol tower was moving deep inside his soul. Waves of fierce energy emitted from the tower. So many mysterious absolute beginning symbols were glowing on that power Upanishad symbol tower. Shurian was using energy taken from Neptune and the others to refine a new original symbol. Thus, it took him more time for this cultivation session. Beautiful Ziyao was sitting on 7-colored crystal throne and using her power to refine Chauncey. At this moment, she opened her eyes to look at Jia and I and say, "Well done." Jia and I bowed to her slightly, her face sour. "Thank you for your compliment, master." Squinting, Ziyao said indifferently, "You feel discontent as you have to serve me even though you have the territory ancestor realm, don't you?" Before I lost my power, I was at third sky of territory ancestor. I was about to reach the ultimate realm. It's good for your power Upanishad comprehension to follow me. You have to know that. I could have given you to Shurian so he could have swallowed you and shall lie altogether. Jia and I changed her visage and screamed. "Please forgive me, master. Serve me well and I won't mistreat you. I will teach you the real power of your power Upanishad. I will help your secret incantation technique advance," said Ziyao calmly. "You know secret incantation too?" Jiani's eyes brightened. The mysterious incantations in the world share some features. The secret incantation is also a technique involving curses and incantations. The secret incantation uses your natural drawings on your body as the conductor. It's awesome, isn't it? Ziyao smiled coldly. My body also has natural patterns that are more powerful and mysterious than yours. Thus, my knowledge of incantations is better than yours, for sure. Jia and I was moved and she asked respectfully, "Master, please teach me." "Yeah, it sounds nice to my ears." Ziyao nodded. "I kept you and shall lie because your blood is suitable for me to carve my soul imprint. It's your opportunity. Don't think of it as a bad accident. Neptune had the worst accident." "I understood," Jia and I replied happily. Mysterious Sky Clan. Forefather Dragon Lizard dashed to a mountain that pierced through the sky. He steadied in the hall of an imposing palace and hissed, "Dragon Lizard, asked to see Forefather Han Tian." Boom! A loud explosion came from the mountain peak, which shook the big mountain. After a while, Han Tian walked out from one of those majestic palaces. He smiled cheerfully, his face glowing in good health. "Congratulations. Finally, you've reached the territory ancestor realm. It seems that you've cultivated hard." Then, seeing Forefather Dragon Lizard, Han Tian's face darkened. You got hurt. He saw dry bloodstains on Forefather Dragon Lizard's body and felt his strange conditions. Yuanzu almost killed me. Forefather Dragon Lizard had dark eyes. Right in Wavy River Star area. Yuanzu is an absolute beginning creature called Yuan. He has an extremely profound realm and he is utterly cunning and sinister. Forefather Dragon Lizard briefed the situation. As I found it dangerous to stay there, I had to run away. I don't know what happened afterward. Yuanzu. Han Tian pulled a stern face. Taking a deep breath, he said, "He's the oldest among us. Many of us have guessed that he's from the previous era, but we weren't so sure. Turns out it's so." Han Tian and Dragon Lizard discussed some secrets of that battle. Then, Han Tian ordered his subordinates to gather information. He wanted to know what had happened in Wavy River Star area. Shortly after, Judy returned. She came to see Han Tian and Dragon Lizard with a serious countenance. "I come with breaking news." Judy talked to Han Tian, Dragon Lizard, and some important officers of the mysterious Sky Clan. Yuanzu and Shi Yan fought in Wavy River Star area. They had almost reduced the entire territory to dust. They had cracked many territory barriers there. Yuanzu ran away. Shi Yan and his woman disappeared. Neptune, Xiaolai, and Jia and I went missing. No one knows where they are. Shi Yan and Yuanzu had a great fight? Han Tian couldn't understand it. He could fight Yuanzu? Yuanzu is at third sky of Territory Ancestor Realm. It's true. I don't understand why Shi Yan suddenly became so fierce, said Judy with a forced smile. Strange. It's really strange. It should be something else. Unfortunately, all the participants are missing. We don't know the actual situation. Han Tian got a headache. While they were bewildered, Tu Shiqi and Ye Yun came quickly. Tu Shiqi flew fast and shouted from a distance, his face strangely worried. The Heavenly Eye Clan sent important news. Heavenly Eye Clan? Han Tian looked puzzled. A small race that depends on us. Tu Shiqi wanted to give Shi Yan face, so we've accepted them. At this moment, the Fiery Phoenix tribe controls them. We rarely ask about their situations, said an elder. Since he knew that Han Tian wouldn't mind a small clan like the Heavenly Eye Clan, he had to provide more details. What's the news? Judy asked coldly. Shi Yan and Jia and I are in Musing Rain Star area of the Heavenly Eye Clan. They're in the Holy Land of the Heavenly Eye Clan. And the woman is called Ziyao. She killed Chauncey, and Jia and I killed the members of the Fiery Phoenix tribe who paid the Heavenly Eye Clan a visit. Jia and I told the Heavenly Eye Clan to tell us that she wants to meet Forefather Han Tian and Judy in Heavenly Eye Clan's land. Tu Shiqi panted and told Han Tian and Judy the information he had just got. Han Tian and Judy exchanged looks. They nodded and then said in unison, "Good." Immediately, they wanted to go to the Heavenly Eye Clan. "I also want to go there," said Forefather Dragon Lizard. "Yeah, we should go together. We will use the teleport formation leading to the Heavenly Eye Clan. Although it will consume a lot of energy to cross the star areas, it's just energy. We shouldn't care about energy too much." Judy was resolute. While talking, she headed towards the teleport formation. At second sky of Territory Ancestor Realm, as long as they knew the direction, it wasn't difficult to teleport through star areas. Han Tian, Dragon Lizard, Tu Shiqi and his wife followed her. They had teleported all together with a group of experts to the Heavenly Eye Clan's land. Chapter 1549. Muster a large force. Chapter 1549. Muster a large force. How is it? How is it? Cornet was so worried. He stood by the massive soundstone together with many elders. When he saw Evelyn send the message, he felt his heart beat faster. So many members of the Fiery Phoenix tribe died here, including Patriarch Chauncey. I don't know how they will deal with this, sighed an elder worriedly. The Heavenly Eye Clan's elders were restlessly anxious. They guessed that the mysterious Sky Clan would be enraged and obliterate the entire Heavenly Eye Clan. To the mysterious Sky Clan, the Fiery Phoenix tribe was more important than their Heavenly Eye Clan. They believed that the mysterious Sky Clan would appreciate the Fiery Phoenix tribe more than their clan. Patriarch Chauncey represented a strong force among the forces under the mysterious Sky Clan. Would the mysterious Sky Clan stay idle after their expert was killed? We got their reply. Too sure Chi got the message. He had to ask for Han Tian and Judy's direction. The two great territory ancestors are in the clan. We should expect bad news. Evelyn's became restless like them as he didn't know how the mysterious Sky Clan would react. Senior, will we be hunted to the last member because of this? If that happens, we will be the greatest sinners in our clan. Masha paled. She was panic-stricken as she envisioned the worst situation. No, I don't think so. It won't happen. Evelyn's comforted her as if he actually comforted himself. I hope nothing will happen. I hope Ja and I can bring us luck. As she and Judy are sworn sisters, they should have a good relationship, said Cornette. Everybody waited restlessly. After a while, the sound stone flashed as it received messages. Evelyn's connected to the stone and his visage changed. Go to the teleport formation. Forefather Han Tian and Judy will come to our star directly. They may take the elders of the mysterious Sky Clan with them too. Hearing him, the entire Heavenly Eye clan was horror-struck. Han Tian and Judy were the strongest existences in this entire sea of stars. They were the most powerful experts of the mysterious Sky Clan among the 7 great clan. Even the mysterious Sky Clan members couldn't have many chances to see them. And today, they had mustered a large force to come to the Heavenly Eye clan for what? At this moment, they couldn't really think. They just moved towards the teleport formation that linked the Heavenly Eye clan and the mysterious Sky Clan. Generally, every race that came to be dependent on the mysterious Sky Clan had to sign the treaty, which regulated that they had to establish the teleport formation to the Heavenly Eye clan. However, it was a one-way formation. The mysterious Sky Clan could use the formation to enter the dependent race's territory, but the dependent race couldn't enter the mysterious Sky Clan's land through that formation. It was the gap between their position and power. In the sea domain of nihility, this operation was acceptable. Shortly after, the experts of the Heavenly Eye clan gathered by that teleport formation to welcome Judy and Han Tian of the mysterious Sky Clan. They watched the formation, their faces complicated and anxious. They were afraid that Han Tian and Judy would massacre their clan as soon as they arrived. However, they understood that if Han Tian and Judy had such a plan, no matter how hard they tried, they were still going to be hunted to the last member. The Heavenly Eye clan didn't have an expert strong enough to resist Judy and Han Tian. No one could battle even one of them. They could only receive their punishment. The teleport formation was powered by piles of divine crystals. After they had arrived for a while, a terrifying power that could tear the voice emitted from the formation. That fierce power terrified them all. They instinctively moved away from that formation. All of a sudden, dazzling halos radiated from the teleport formation. As the Heavenly Eye clan warriors were dazzled, the experts walked out one after another from the formation. Cornette tried to suppress the pain in his eyes and yelled, "Welcome, Forefather Han Tian and Judy." "Welcome! Welcome!" The members of the Heavenly Eye clan shouted together and showed their most humble faces with the hope of making a good impression to the others. The halos slowly vanished and left Han Tian, Judy, and Dragon Lizard. Han Tian scanned through the entire members of the Heavenly Eye clan and shook his head inwardly. There was no member of the Heavenly Eye clan that could catch his attention. Then, he stopped at Littleya and closed his eyes to sense for a while. "You have a good gemstone. It contains tremendous fire energy. Kid, you got lucky." Just like Chauncey, Han Tian also cultivated fire power Upanishad. He had a good knowledge and keen eyes on some special treasures in fire class. The flaming crystal that Ziyao had given away was the only thing he thought was valuable. Except for that, the entire Heavenly Eye clan didn't have anything or anyone worth his attention. A simple compliment from Han Tian made all eyes of the Heavenly Eye clan fix on Littleya. That flaming crystal again. Everybody wore strange faces. Chauncey had threatened them because of that crystal. And now, as soon as Forefather Han Tian came, the first thing he talked about was also about that crystal. How precious was it actually? Precursor Chauncey and the members of the Fiery Phoenix tribe died because of that flaming crystal. Cornette didn't dare to conceal anything. He explained the incident in detail. He didn't dare to miss even the small things. He hoped that his sincerity would make Han Tian's team show mercy. Han Tian and the others had their eyes brighten as they listened to Cornet. Sometimes, they shot meaningful looks to Little Ye. After a while, Han Tian grinned and said, "I think I know the reason." He shot Forefather Dragon Lizard a look. Forefather Dragon Lizard nodded and said, "Her coup was successful. At this moment, she's one of the absolute beginning creatures. This girlfriend of Shi Yan is much stronger than Yuan Zhu that year." He was one of the witnesses of the battle between Ziyao and Hui, but he didn't know the result. And now, he knew Ziyao had succeeded from Cornet's information. Her soul clone had replaced the host's soul and absorbed all of Hui's memories and power. No wonder Chauncey died. As he messed with the one he shouldn't have, he had to face his consequences. Han Tian laughed loudly as if he didn't think Chauncey's death mattered. Hearing him, the Heavenly Eye clan members' edgy nerves were relaxed. Only Forefather Dragon Lizard understood that currently, Shi Yan and Ziyao were much more important than Chauncey. As long as Han Tian and Judy weren't foolish, they weren't going to challenge Shi Yan and Ziyao to sink in endless trouble. Previously, when Forefather Dragon Lizard and Shi Yan met in the Sea of Annihilation and Farrell had reported it to Judy, Judy had shown that the mysterious Sky Clan wasn't really concerned about Ling Mei. At that time, Judy had said that she hoped Forefather Dragon Lizard would befriend with Shi Yan. Forefather Dragon Lizard wasn't dumb. He knew what the mysterious Sky Clan wanted. "It has been a long time since I last met Jia and I. It's good to see her and chat for a while." Judy smiled friendly and walked directly towards that ravine. Finally, Evelyn's and the other two could exhale in relief. As they saw Han Tian and Judy's attitudes, they could confirm that they wouldn't take revenge on the Heavenly Eye clan or kill them all. Right after that, Cornet and the members of the Heavenly Eye clan used their most respectful manners to lead Han Tian, Judy, and the others to the gorge. On the way, Han Tian and Judy had used their souls to discuss for a while. They came to an agreement at the end. The ravine's entrance. Xiao Lai of the Heavenly Craftsman clan and Jia and I of the Secret Pattern tribe were there. The two of them had the snake mark on their foreheads. They didn't change their countenances when they saw Han Tian and Judy come personally. Seeing the snake totem on Xiao Lai's and Jia Ni's foreheads, Han Tian and Judy understood the situation. They didn't dare to act haughty. Judy smiled gently from a distance. "Jia and I, why are you here?" "Oh, Grandmaster Xiao Lai, you're here too. It's really interesting." "Judy, you're getting younger." "Well, I think you've made up your mind on this." Jia and I smiled at her and said, "You, Han Tian, and Dragon Lizard get in there. The others stay outside. There's something that the juniors shouldn't know. What do you think?" "No problem," Judy beamed and said, "Only I, Han Tian, and Dragon Lizard will go in. The others should stay outside." No one is allowed to say a word about things in the Heavenly Eye clan this time. The members of the mysterious Sky Clan following them here pulled stern faces as they seriously memorized what Judy said. Right after that, as the warriors of the mysterious Sky Clan and the Heavenly Eye clan were dazed, Han Tian, Dragon Lizard, and Judy followed Xiao Lai, Jia and I to the ravine. Inside the ravine, Shi Yan, who had his eyes closed for a long time, opened his eyes and got up with a faint smile. "Greetings, Precursor Han Tian and Precursor Judy. I have something that I want to tell you. That's why I asked you to come here. Please don't mind that. I used to talk to your teacher. He had stayed in the sea domain of Nihility for a while before returning to Desolate Territory. I couldn't believe that he was gone. However, he raised a formidable apprentice like you. Yeah, he's worthy of his reputation as bloodthirsty." Han Tian guffawed and said straightforwardly, "You shouldn't mind my good-for-nothing junior Ling Mei. I hope it won't be a knot between us." "It won't." Shi Yan shook his head calmly. "It has been a long time." "Oh, how about this lady?" Judy observed Ziyao. Hesitating for a while, she spoke with a junior etiquette. "It's our honor to meet the expert of the previous generation." "I'm really glad." Zia smiled and gave her a slight nod. "You, little girl, do know how to talk sweetly. I know you're very interested in the Power Upanishad symbol tower. I won't fish in troubled waters." "Yeah, If you gather enough energy or materials, I can help you refine an original symbol. Shi Yan was frank and direct. Of course, I won't do it for free. I will ask you to help me with something. When he mentioned the original symbol, Han Tian and Forefather Dragon Lizard's eyes brightened. They all looked eager and waited for Shi Yan to state his conditions. Forefather Dragon Lizard said directly, "Even without the original symbol, I'm always willing to help you. If it wasn't for you, I would have died in Wavy River territory." Then, he shot Ziyao a fearful look. "You know it's not me. You don't have to be afraid of me anymore," smiled Ziyao. Dragon Lizard nodded, "I understand. However, it's carved deep in my mind. When I see you, I haven't gotten used to it yet." Chapter 1550, A New Original Symbol. Chapter 1550, A New Original Symbol. What are your conditions? Judy pulled a stern face and calmly looked at Shi Yan, waiting for his requests. The absolute beginning original symbol was extremely important to experts at their realm. An original symbol could help them see the most essence of their power Upanishad and provide them with a supernatural ability. Having an original symbol helped them enter a brand new realm. Whether it was Judy or Han Tian, they had a big desire for the original symbol. As Shi Yan agreed to offer conditions with them, they considered it as a positive sign already. Because Shi Yan had more choices, he could choose the Whitebone clan, the Phantom clan, or other races. However, they didn't have more choices. Only Shi Yan had the power Upanishad symbol tower. Moreover, with his and Ziyao's current competence, they couldn't rob them. Thus, they had to negotiate with him. Shi Yan gave Ziyao a look. She smiled, nodded, and said to Judy, "The condition is to help me find the absolute beginning blood crystal and the dark energy crystal." I think you know these two kinds of crystals. The mysterious Sky Clan should have some, I assume. Or you at least know where to find them. Listening to her, Han Tian and Judy looked surprised. It seemed like it was a hard matter for them. They of course knew the absolute beginning blood crystal and the dark energy crystal. They also knew how rare the crystals were. Judy and Han Tian had a few of them that they didn't dare to use. The absolute beginning blood crystal and the dark energy crystal had special effects on Ziyao. They could recover her power. Before Ziyao got hurt, she was at the peak of Territory Ancestor Realm. Just like Devour and Desolate, they were pretty close to the ultimate realm. However, after the tragic war in the Absolute Beginning era, Ziyao, Devour, and Desolate got wounded severely. They had to stay dormant to recover. If Shi Yan hadn't disturbed her and awakened her in the chaotic space basin, she would have needed dozens of thousands of years to accumulate her energy to the level she once had that year. The absolute beginning creatures needed a lot of time to absorb Earth and Heaven energy to recover. This process would have taken 10 to dozens of thousands of years. If the wounds were serious, it could take millions of years. Apparently, Ziyao couldn't wait for such a long period because Desolate was awakened. Also, Yuanzhu was still alive. Devour was using the Devouring clan to recover himself. If the absolute beginning creatures wanted to recover quickly, they had a shortcut, which was to find the absolute beginning blood crystal and the dark energy crystal. Both the absolute beginning blood crystal and the dark energy crystal weren't made naturally. They were extremely rare and, of course, very precious. The absolute beginning blood crystal was actually the blood crystallization. After the absolute beginning creatures died and shed blood, their blood accumulated. After so many years with Earth and Heaven energy supplement, the crystals would be slowly produced. The absolute beginning blood crystal was crystallized from absolute beginning creatures' blood and a large amount of energy. It could recover the wounded absolute beginning creatures fast and regrow their blood and flesh. The dark energy crystal was a strange crystal created from broken soul altars of warriors at the Territory Ancestor Realm. If their soul pawns weren't destroyed after a long time, it would crystallize. The dark energy crystal was used to advance the soul energy of the experts at Territory Ancestor Realm. The absolute beginning blood crystal improved the body and the dark energy crystal increased the soul energy. They were the precious and most effective treasures to help Ziyao recover quickly. Both of them weren't naturally made. They were really valuable to the 7 great clans. Han Tian and Judy had used an enormous amount force of the mysterious Sky Clan to search and accumulate a small amount. However, they didn't dare to use them. They wanted to use it for the new territory ancestors, the foundation of the mysterious Sky Clan's future. If Ziyao asked for something else, they would have agreed immediately. However, to the absolute beginning blood crystal and the dark energy crystal, they became hesitant. The original symbol, the absolute beginning blood crystal, and the dark energy crystal, the former could advance their power Upanishads, and the latter could create more chances for their later generation. They had to weigh them hard to make a decision. I know the mysterious Sky Clan knows many vestiges of the absolute beginning era. Okay, tell me the locations. I'll go there to check myself, said Ziyao. Battles happened almost everywhere in the absolute beginning era. Many creatures were killed. Perhaps the absolute beginning blood crystal and the dark energy crystal were somewhere. After a long time, the battlefields had drifted to other corners of the universe. Ziyao didn't know where to find them. Perhaps only strong forces like the 7 great clans could know. No problem. We do know a lot of absolute beginning vestiges. Many of them have terrifying seals and barriers that we don't dare to intrude. We can show you the way, Judy said immediately. We will take you guys there to see. Not us. Only her. Shuryen smiled. I have something more important to do. Pondering for a while, he said, there's a shortcut to refine an original symbol. If you can find enough strong creatures for me to kill and swallow its energy, I can use the abundant energy to refine an original symbol. For example, after Neptune, Keith, and Lebit were killed, I made a space original symbol. Han Tian and Judy were shaken. Neptune and the others were killed? You killed them? Neptune, Keith, and Oliver were the territory ancestors of the 7 clans. In each clan, they were extremely strong. As they disappeared mysteriously, the Soul Clan, the Ancient Monster Clan, the Black Demon Clan, and the Devouring Clan couldn't be safe. Previously, Han Tian and Judy were bewildered about this. They tried to guess where the others had gone. And now, Shuryen just exposed the truth. They knew that the others were killed and became Shuryen's new original symbol, another chance to help Shuryen understand his power Upanishad better. How could they not be scared? Shuryen smiled at Ziyao as the others were looking at him with frightened eyes. As we've discussed, we'll part now. You go with Han Tian and Judy to find the absolute beginning blood crystal and the dark energy crystal. I am going to increase my power. Oh, right. I promised the Heavenly Eye clan that once I reach the territory ancestor realm, I will take a member of the Heavenly Eye clan as my disciple. I don't have enough time to do that. You help me with this. Let Xiao Lai and Jia and I do it on behalf of me. He smiled and noted Ziyao. While talking, he urged his space power Upanishad. The space power Upanishad appeared like a mirror with a brilliant door. It was the supernatural ability called Shuttle. Swish, swish, swish. Billions of space light rays congregated in front of him and became a territory gateway. This gateway could lead to different territories, facilitating him to travel easily between big territories. From now on, in this infinite sea of stars, the sea domain of nihility and the major territories weren't a significant distance in his eyes. He could create space doors and move between territories easily. He could appear in every corner of the sea domain of nihility. As Han Tian and Judy were watching him, he smiled and walked through the door. Finally, he disappeared from the Musing Rain territory of the Heavenly Eye clan. He's not far from Second Sky of Territory Ancestor Realm. The power and aura he has just shown aren't less than a normal Second Sky of Territory Ancestor Realm. He watched Shuryen disappear into the light gateway, his face terrified. His realm isn't lower than Bloodthirsty that year. Perhaps he's even stronger than Bloodthirsty in some aspects. Bloodthirsty? Ziyao sneered. He was a fierce warrior. It's just bad that he couldn't refine an absolute beginning body. He was just cannon fodder in the war between Devourer and Desolate. Because of the soul restriction, he could never reach Shuryen's height. She thought that Shuryen today had already surpassed Bloodthirsty. Xiao Lai, Jia and I, you two can choose a disciple each and teach them carefully, she asked faintly. The strange, cyan snake on Xiao Lies of the Heavenly Craftsman clan and Jia Inai of the Secret Pattern tribe glowed. They bowed and showed their willingness. Judy contemplated for a while and then sent a soul message to the area outside the ravine. Outside the ravine, Tu Shirqi and Ye Yun of the mysterious Sky Clan were startled. Ye Yun had strange light in her eyes as she walked to Cornet. The higher authority agrees that your Heavenly Eye clan will become the closet race to the mysterious Sky Clan. You will replace the position of the Fiery Phoenix tribe. From now on, you can contact the mysterious Sky Clan directly. Here, it's your token. You can go to the mysterious Sky Clan's headquarters and visit the library to read the secret books about power Upanishads. You can also ask and learn from our elders. She handed him an ancient-style token. Cornet held the token and continuously thanked her. He was so excited that he shivered. Evelyn's and Adams understood that Han Tian and Judy must have had some agreement with Shiryen inside that ravine. Because of Shiryen and Zi Yao, the mysterious Sky Clan had upgraded the Heavenly Eye clan's echelon. That small token meant that the Heavenly Eye clan would become a core member of the mysterious Sky Clan. From now on, the members of the Heavenly Eye clan could talk directly to the mysterious Sky Clan and visit them to learn strong power Upanishads of the mysterious Sky Clan. They could even ask the elders to teach them. Just a moment ago, all of these favors were unimaginable to them. The Heavenly Eye clan would thrive with this foundation. In the next 10,000 years, the Heavenly Eye clan would grow quickly and continuously. I am Xiao Lai. I'm searching for a disciple among the fellows of the Heavenly Eye clan. On behalf of Shiryen, I will teach that fellow to fulfill Shiryen's promise to your clan. You can't cultivate my power Upanishad, but I have a great enough understanding of power Upanishads to teach you guys. I will choose one disciple too. I will teach you the essence of power, said Jia and I. They walked out of the ravine and stood in front of the mysterious Sky Clan and the Heavenly Eye clan to find a suitable apprentice. Evelyn's, Adams, and Masha were thrilled. They kneeled down and bowed towards the ravine to show their gratitude to Shiryen. Unfortunately, they didn't know that Shiryen had left the ravine and disappeared from this territory. Chapter 1551, Sweep Away Many Clans. Chapter 1551, Sweep Away Many Clans. Soul Clan's territory in Sea Domain of Nihility. A brilliant light door suddenly emerged above the cities of the Soul Clan. After a while, that light door materialized. A man walked out of that door. It was Shiryen. The energy he got from swallowing Neptune, Keith, and Oliver wasn't enough to reach the upper limit to break through again. However, it was enough to refine another absolute beginning original symbol. This original symbol formed an archaic symbol called Shuttle, which was a heavenly gateway in his space power Upanishad. It was an extreme, supernatural ability, a new cognition in space power Upanishad. With the shuttle, he could use his sharp sense to grasp the locations of so many territories. He could use his space energy to link to them and create a gateway that he could use freely. He had used this newly achieved supernatural ability to get to the Soul Clan's base deep in the Sea Domain of Nihility from Musing Rain territory. His purpose was simple: slaughter to take lives and soul altars of the Soul Clan warriors to feed his soul energy and increase his god power to enter second sky of territory ancestor realm faster. Shiryen had discussed with Zi Yao about the Absolute Beginning era and the Absolute Beginning Gateway for a long time. They tacitly understood that they had to increase their power to get to the entrance of the Absolute Beginning Gateway together. The Absolute Beginning Gateway hid the ultimate secret of the earth and heaven at their very beginning. It had the deepest imprint of the Great Path. Rumors say that the way and the direction to cultivate after the territory ancestor realm was behind that door. According to the rumors, Absolute Beginning was the last realm after territory ancestor realm. At that realm, the expert would have formidable powers that could create the universe from thin air using his imagination. Absolute Beginning creatures had slaughtered each other to reach Absolute Beginning realm. They wanted to take their ancestors' blood, which would eventually enable them to replace Absolute Beginning's role. Unfortunately, the Absolute Beginning era ended, and no one ever made it to that step. The new era had created third sky of territory ancestor realm experts like Sauron. Yuanzhu had survived to seek for the absolute beginning gateway. Desolate and Devour had awakened. It became more possible to open the absolute beginning gateway. Parties were accumulating power to do that. They had to improve their power quickly. They had to reach the peak realm to counter with any fierce change that could happen in any minute. Thus, he had to do that at all costs. The Soul Clan, Devouring Clan, Ancient Monster Clan, and Black Demon Clan were the 4 strongest races in this time. When he was in the sea domain of Nihility, they had chased him around to kill him. They never wanted to leave him alone. They wanted to kill him to take the power Upanishad symbol tower. Time flew quickly. It had been 100 years, and the 4 great clans were still strong. However, Shi Yan wasn't a weak warrior who they could bully. Using lives of the 4 races in the sea domain of Nihility could help him accumulate energy quickly. It was his priority now. The Soul Clan was his first stop. Hovering above the territory of the Soul Clan, he quieted down for a long moment. All of a sudden, he roared and transformed to his absolute beginning body, the ferocious giant whose head touched the sky. A terrifying energy that could smash the entire world emitted instantly and shadowed the heart of each Soul Clan warriors, hovering in each corner of the sky. The massive black holes appeared above the territory of the Soul Clan like massive demon mouths. The energy that diffused from them was earth-destroying. Soul control, death, corrosion, and dark power Upanishad appeared as the islands hovering in the sky of the Soul Clan. The islands created by white bones fumed the shattering energy as they arrayed in the world-destroying formation. Shi Yan stood among the islands and listened to the terrified screams of the Soul Clan warriors. He roared and howled, "Neptune pursued me for the power Upanishad symbol tower. The Soul Clan wanted my head with big rewards. Today, I'm here to see who can take the head off my neck." Boom! Countless massive asteroids fell from the void. Tens of thousands of them like seething sea bombarded the Soul Clan's territory under the star power Upanishad's control. Flaming meteors. The Kosoul used the power Upanishad's ability and the heaven flame to cast an attack. Flames moved like a flowing river of red iron and fell from the sky. Destructive power. Curtain of darkness. Desperate heart. Shi Yan screamed continuously. His evil energies were like earth-shattering tornadoes that stormed towards the Soul Clan's territory. Masses of darkness landed and swallowed all the lights. Under the power of despair, each member of the Soul Clan was so hopeless and fearful. They had no hope. The Soul Clan had been haughtily swaggering around the sea domain of Nihility and the other territories. They never thought that one day, a brute like Shi Yan could break the protection of the Soul Clan's territory to massacre the Soul Clan warriors. The 8 great, evil powers, space, star, fire, and life were controlled smoothly and skillfully. Members of the Soul Clan fell one after another. However, the members of the Soul Clan below King God realm magically survived the savage, ruthless destruction. Quite the contrary, the High Realm warriors were targets of this genocide. Warriors at Original God Realm, Ethereal God Realm, Incipient God Realm, and Immortal Realm were attacked by evil energies in the sky. Shi Yan's red eyes gazed at them, and they fell one after another. Anyway, the Low Realm warriors stopped providing a lot of energy to Shi Yan when they died. Only the strongest warriors could supply energy that could help Shi Yan change in nature. At this moment, serene prison of the Soul Clan wasn't here. Neptune was dead. They still had another territory ancestor, but he had gone to empty land and left no territory ancestor to protect the clan. The Soul Clan didn't have the power to counterattack. They passively endure Shi Yan's slaughter. The current era had a long history of millions of years. The 7 great clans had to accumulate for a long time to get to their current foundation and power in the Sea of Stars. No one dared to massacre people in the territories of the 7 clans. Never before. Today, it was the first time in history. Just like a bloodthirsty demon, Shi Yan landed on the Soul Clan's territories and deployed his bloody washing to the high echelon members of the Soul Clan and swallow them in the end. As the Low Realm warriors were screaming horribly, Shi Yan's slaughter lasted for several hours before he disappeared strangely. The Black Demon Clan was next, followed by the Ancient Monster Clan and Devouring Clan. Yan didn't spare these 3 clans. He continued his genocide. The situations in the other 3 clans were the same. Their strongest experts weren't present when they attacked. Sauron had invited them to somewhere to discuss something discreetly. They didn't know that their races were slaughtered bloodily. Yan had visited the Black Demon clan and the Ancient Monster clan, and killed tens of thousands of experts at Ethereal God Realm, Incipient God Realm, and Immortal Realm. Eventually, he went to Devouring Clan. In that dark world, he had slaughtered the members of the Devouring Clan and used the devouring power Upanishad, eating up each warrior. The Devouring Clan's headquarters had a deep sea where a secret place was hidden. Devour was cultivating there. Yan slaughtering the Devouring Clan had awakened Devour. He was very furious indeed. Devour raised a massive abyss to cover the land. However, as soon as he came, he found flashes from a light door. Yan slowly disappeared through that door. The land of the Devouring Clan was left with countless corpses, asteroids, and countless flaming holes. Shortly after, Yan damaged the Devouring Clan and used the supernatural ability of space power Upanishad to leave before Devour came. Devour roared and hissed crazily. Looking at the corpses of his fellows, his anger seemed to pierce through barriers and enter the depths of Yan's soul. Wait for me to make the next breakthrough. You will be my target. Yan's soul energy came from nowhere and hovered in the void above the Devouring Clan and in Devour's mind. In his black hole form, Devour felt Yan's soul message, which enraged him furthermore. At this moment, he found that his resentment for Yan had surpassed what he had for Desolate. A light door emerged on the land of the Phantom Clan. Yan slowly walked out and went to the Phantom Clan's holy land. He appeared from thin air above this fairyland. Releasing the soul consciousness, he found Meiji shortly after. After a thought, he appeared by Meiji's palace. Yan! Meiji was so happy. I'm here to make you an absolute beginning original symbol. This time, I got a big harvest. When I finish absorbing them, I can try to reach second sky of Territory Ancestor Realm. I think I can also refine 1 or 2 original symbols. Yan told her his purpose directly. Is Monesi here? Sauron invited her somewhere. I heard that the strongest experts of the 7 clans were invited by Sauron, Meiji explained, her eyes bright. You said you got a big harvest. How was it? I heard that you had a big fight with Yuan Zhu in Wavy River Star area, but I don't know the details. Did you know that I've just been to the Soul Clan, Black Demon Clan, Devouring Clan, and Ancient Monster Clan? Yan grinned. No, I haven't received any news, Meiji shook her head. I think you will be busy soon when you receive information of the bloody massacre in their homelands. Although those areas didn't gather all the members of the 4 clans, there is no doubt that most of their experts cultivated there. I've offended them all. Later on, it will be extremely deadly, said Yan without actual concern. Meiji discolored in fear. You had massacred the homelands of all 4 clans? Gosh, did you do that? She couldn't believe it. What they gave me, I will repay the same. Yan's face was cold and heartless as he spoke indifferently. It's almost impossible for the top warriors of the 4 clans to kill me. I'm sure I won't lose even if I have to fight alone. What is there to be afraid of? After I refine the energy I got this time, I will reach second sky of Territory Ancestor Realm. Serene Prison, Beverly, and Edgar can't kill me even if they join hands. His confidence left Meiji dumbstruck. She couldn't get a hold of herself. Chapter 1552. The Title of God of Slaughter. Chapter 1552. The Title of God of Slaughter. Empty land. Inside a majestic, old city in empty land, the leading experts of the Soul Clan, Devouring Clan, Black Demon Clan, and Ancient Monster Clan were gathering. Serene Prison of Soul Clan, Edgar of Devouring Clan, Rupert of Black Demon Clan, and Beverly of Ancient Monster Clan were the 4 of the 10 great territory ancestors. In this infinite universe, they were the peerless, famous experts. With just a stomp, they could shake an entire star area. At this moment, They were taking their apprentices and experts in their forces to Ancient Monster Clan City. They were discussing the missing case of Neptune and the others. Neptune, Keith, Lebit, and Oliver were at first sky of Territory Ancestor Realm. The members of their clans ranked right after them. Neptune and the others went missing after they came to Wavy River Star area to chase after Shiryan, Ziyao, and Yuanzhu. After that battle, the territory barrier of Wavy River Star area was torn. The entire territory was shaken. At the same time, they got no information about Shiryan, Ziyao, and Yuanzhu. Everybody was amazed and tried to guess the details of that battle. Sauron is about to arrive at Empty Land. He invited us to go to the Absolute Beginning Gateway. The Power Upanishad symbol tower in Shiryan's hands is the key to opening the gateway. As long as we get the Power Upanishad symbol tower, I'm sure we can open the Absolute Beginning Gateway. Beverly of the Ancient Monster Clan was still mesmerizing. However, her eyes looked very cold. It's unbelievable that he has the Absolute Beginning blood and refined the Absolute Beginning body. He's tougher to deal with now. I don't know where he's hiding. It's not easy to find him. After a while, Montesi and Hero will come. I'm sure that they know Shiryan's location. We will ask them then. Serene Prison smiled, his face relaxed. Would they tell us the truth? Snorted Edgar. Opening the Absolute Beginning Gateway benefits everyone. Montesi and Hero aren't exceptions. They would at least invite Shiryan to go with them, replied Serene Prison with a smile. I know that Sauron has promoted something so Shiryan could get the Absolute Beginning body. Don't worry. He definitely has a plan. Mentioning Sauron, the experts looked unnatural. Sauron was at third sky of Territory Ancestor Realm. With a human body, it was really thrilling to know he could cultivate to such a level. It puzzled and somehow humiliated the ones who deemed themselves as the high-echelon races. Sauron had initiated the Absolute Beginning Gateway thing. They had just followed him passively, which made the self-important experts like them feel awkward. Swoosh! A water current congregated right amid the four experts. As people were so surprised, the water current slowly shaped Yuanzhu's body. This body was somehow between real and an illusion, which was like a bubble in the water that would break when someone touched it. Seeing Yuanzhu's body materialize, the others screamed, "Precursor Yuanzhu! Precursor Yuanzhu, what happened in the battle in Wavy River Star area?" Serene Prison pulled himself together first. He pondered and then asked, his face stern. Yuanzhu's clone became clearer. He wore a tender, hypocritical face and sighed, "I can't explain briefly. I can't believe that Shiryan has become so brutal." He joined hands with an Absolute Beginning creature and killed almost all the experts there. Neptune, Keith, Oliver, Lebit, Xiaolai, and Jiana. I'm afraid they couldn't escape death. He pulled a sorrowful face. I tried my best to stop them. Unfortunately, Wei is so powerful. Shiryan's power had increased frantically. I don't know why. Moreover, Forefather Dragon Lizard was with them. I couldn't resist the three of them and protect Neptune and the others at the same time. I had to run away. Yuanzhu, the main character of that battle, had appeared after a long time. He had distorted the truth and made up the details of the battle. Serene Prison, Edgar, and the others shook their heads hard, their faces disbelieving. Neptune, Keith, Oliver, and Lebit were all experts at first sky of Territory Ancestor Realm. Shiryan killed them all. It had ignited a flame of anger in them in just a split second. Those four were elite warriors, the foundation and pillars of their clans. Their deaths were a great loss to their clans, which had reduced their focus massively. Shiryan had challenged the four clans that were the real overlords of this sea of stars. Precursor Yuanzhu, are you sure that they were all dead? Rupert asked in a low-pitched realm, his eyes sparkling with brutal light. He looked like a beast that was about to lose control. After Shiryan reached the Territory Ancestor Realm, he needed a lot of energy to refill his god power. With the devouring power Upanishad, he could do it quickly. To him, only the Territory Ancestors could help him increase his energy fast. He came to Empty Land and attacked Feral just to accumulate energy. Yuanzhu scanned through the crowd. He had thrown every sin on Shiryan. He wanted to ignite the flame of anger from the four classes on Shuryen. He wanted to instigate the experts to kill Shuryen at any cost. However, he was just doing extra work. Because shortly after, the messengers of the four clans fluttered in with news. Chief, big trouble. Our Soul Clan's homeland was massacred. Several thousand fellows were killed. They were all at Ethereal God Realm, Incipient God Realm, and Immortal Realm, reported a Soul Clan expert who was shivering. Hearing him, all the experts standing here discolored in fear. They couldn't believe what they had just heard. The Soul Clan, one of the 7 great clans, were hunted to the last member right on their ancestral land. Who could be so fierce and brave? It's Shuryen. He's transformed into a savage John. He used the devouring power Upanishad to create dozens of black holes and swallow our fellows, continued the messenger. Serene Prison, Edgar, and Beverly paled. Yuanzhu was dumbstruck too. Yuanzhu had hidden for years in this era and covered his identity and motivation. As he had reached third sky of Territory Ancestor Realm, he was much stronger than he used to be in the Absolute Beginning era. However, he didn't dare to provoke any race among the 7 races as he was afraid of creating a situation that he couldn't handle. Unexpectedly, Shuryen had acted unscrupulously. He didn't care about the consequences or effects he could create. He had slaughtered the Soul Clan. Serene Prison, can you stay idle and forgive him as it has gone to this? Beverly was having fun on the other's misfortune. He has touched the Soul Clan. Maybe the other clans will bear the same disaster, reminded Yuanzhu. I think you guys should contact your clan to defend at all cost. His words reminded Beverly, Edgar, and Rupert. They didn't hesitate a lot and immediately prepared to contact their clans. However, as they were prepping, their subordinates waiting outside screamed and ran to them. Chief, someone attacked our ancestral land. So many of us were killed. Chief, many members of our clan were slaughtered. Shuryen had slaughtered our territories. The members of the Ancient Monster Clan, Devouring Clan, and Black Demon Clan screamed, shivering and stammering from the news that they just received. Beverly, Edgar, and Rupert were outraged. They couldn't exchange information about the Absolute Beginning Gateway anymore. The 4 Profound Realm experts left Empty Land immediately and returned to their ancestral lands at their max speed. The news about the genocides in the 4 clans was disclosed. Instantly, the entire universe was exploding. All races were startled. The Soul Clan, Ancient Monster Clan, Devouring Clan, and Black Demon Clan had been the overlords in this world for tens of thousands of years. And now, their ancestral lands were intruded and their fellows were massacred. It had never happened in their history. Everybody recognized that this world was about to change drastically. Shuryen's brutal name had spread to each territory so rapidly that no one could stop it. Everybody was scared. The most malicious ones thought that they couldn't be that sinister and fierce. The warriors of small forces that used to be bullied by those 4 clans danced and yelled cheerily. The entire universe was shaken because of Shuryen's mad retaliation. Within dozens of thousands of years, the one who was brave enough to provoke the 4 clans had never appeared. And now, a god of slaughter named Shuryen was crazily killing the members of the 4 clans. Rumors also said that Neptune and Keith were dead and Shuryen's slaughter still continued. Shuryen's title of God of Slaughter came to be known in every race and among billions of creatures at the fastest speed. His brutal name had surpassed the 10 great territory ancestors. He was the bringer of change in this era who could shift the general situation of this era. A ruin with so many asteroids in a territory belonged to the mysterious Sky Clan. Ziyao was moving around and searching for the Absolute Beginning Blood Crystal and the Dark Energy Crystal. After Han Tian, Judy, and Dragon Lizard had taken her here, they waited for her outside. Including this ruin, they had taken Ziyao to 7 vestiges and ruins. They were all places that the mysterious Sky Clan had found after dozens of years. They assumed that they were the vestiges from Absolute Beginning era. Every time they came, Ziyao would get in there alone, and she told them nothing about her harvest. After a short time, she would get out of the place and ask Han Tian or Judy to take her to another vestige. This place was one of the 2 last vestiges that the mysterious Sky Clan knew. Han Tian and Judy had complicated thoughts as they silently waited for Zi Yao outside. Suddenly, Judy frowned. A strange crystal was slowly spinning in her sea of consciousness. Soul messages came from the crystal and hovered in Judy's sea of consciousness. At first, Judy didn't notice them. Shortly after, she got scared out of her wits. She couldn't help but scream, "Gosh!" Han Tian and Forefather Dragon Lizard turned to look at her, their countenances puzzled. After a long time, Judy checked the divine light inside the vestige and took a deep breath, her voice trembling. "You guys can't imagine what earth-shaking things Shi Yan had done after he bid us farewell." "What happened?" Han Tian was surprised. Judy took a deep breath to stabilize her emotion. After he left, he went to the ancestral lands of the Soul Clan, Black Demon Clan, Ancient Monster Clan, and Devouring Clan. As Serene Prison, Rupert, Edgar, and Beverly are on empty land, he seized the chance to massacre the warriors in their homelands. Those 4 clans don't have a ethereal god realm, incipient god realm, or immortal realm in their headquarters anymore. As Han Tian and Forefather Dragon Lizard were dumbstruck, Judy bitterly smiled. "It's our fortune that we came to the Heavenly Eye clan personally to become Shi Yan and Zi Yao's alliance. Otherwise, our mysterious Sky clan would have become one of his targets. Gosh, he almost killed all the experts the Soul Clan, Black Demon Clan, Devouring Clan, and Ancient Monster Clan have nourished for tens of thousands of years." When Han Tian and Forefather Dragon Lizard listened to Judy, they felt frozen as if there was a cold air expanding from their hearts to every cell in their bodies. Chapter 1553, The Great Race War. Chapter 1553, The Great Race War. Underscore the title of God of Slaughter spread out in every territory in the vast sea of stars. During this time, the experts of every race told each other about a name, Shi Yan. The Soul Clan, Devouring Clan, Ancient Monster Clan, and Black Demon Clan turned frantic. All the surviving experts were deployed with Serene Prison, Edgar, Beverly, and Rupert to seek for Shi Yan everywhere. The 4 clans had joined hands. They set big rewards for anyone who could disclose Shi Yan's location. They promised to gift an entire territory as a reward. A whole natural territory. The Sea of Stars became clamorous because of this. Everybody knew the drastic catastrophe that had happened to the Soul Clan, Devouring Clan, Ancient Monster Clan, and Black Demon Clan. Shi Yan's homicidal mania and retaliation had enraged the experts of the 4 clans. At this moment, the absolute beginning gateway wasn't attractive to them anymore. They crossed their hearts to crush Shi Yan into powder first. Serene Prison, Edgar, Beverly, and Rupert wanted to force Montesi and Hero to tell them Shi Yan's whereabouts and the planet that he had brought with him. Thus, they didn't hesitate to declare war against the Phantom Clan and the Whitebone Clan. If Montesi and Hero didn't give them an answer that satisfied them, they would attack the 2 clans. For the absolute beginning gateway, Sauron had gathered the leading experts of those clans to discuss, but he couldn't calm the situation. His words couldn't ease Serene Prison and the others' wrath. Thus, they had to pause the absolute beginning gateway's affair. Seeking for Shi Yan was the most urgent priority and the fixation in Serene Prison, Edgar, Beverly, and Rupert's hearts. At the same time, Yuanzhu continuously showed himself and stated that he was with Serene Prison and the other 3. He was on the same side with the 4 clans. They all wanted to kill Shi Yan. The Sea of Stars that had been peaceful for years now stirred up. The members of the Soul Clan, Devouring Clan, Ancient Monster Clan, and Black Demon Clan began to depart to the territories of the Phantom Clan and the Whitebone Clan. They were ready to war. Montesi and Hero got news of the horrible loss that the 4 clans had to bear. As they knew the others had lost so many experts, they weren't afraid of this alliance of the 4 clans. They also ordered their clans to prepare for the coming war. Among the 7 great clans, the mysterious Sky Clan didn't have a move because they couldn't contact Han Tian and Judy yet. The mysterious Sky Clan hadn't suffered from Shi Yan's slaughter. It had become a knot in Edgar's and Beverly's mind. They guessed that Han Tian and Judy had formed a secret agreement with Shi Yan. And that actually happened. The entire Sea of Stars was boiling because of Shi Yan's frenzied slaughter. All the races were hurrying to prepare for the coming war. They wanted to seize the chance to expand the territory. As Serene Prison and Beverly had their fire of wrath burning harder, the atmosphere in many clans was very tense. The war would burst out in any minute. Phantom Clan. In a secret chamber situated deep underground, Shi Yan closed his eyes and breathed steadily. The unscrupulous aura like white mist fumed from his acupuncture points and filled the secret chamber. Meiji was sitting next to her. She was naked and sitting cross-legged next to Shi Yan. Her shining, creamy body was frosting and emitting a cold air that was chilly to the bone. After a long time, Meiji woke up. Her bright eyes had filled with utter joy. Deep in her soul altar, an original symbol hovered above a snowflake. It was a new original symbol that Shi Yan had refined for her. Creating a soul hand, she fondled the original symbol represented her ice power Upanishad and felt the supernatural ability, Frost, she just got. Under the effects of her soul consciousness, the wall and space in the secret chamber sounded of strange cracking noises. Shortly after, the entire world, including all matters and air, froze and created a whole piece of crystal ice. It was an ultimate supernatural power carved in her original symbol she had just got. Previously, Shi Yan had quietly gone to the Phantom Clan without an eye noticing. He came to find her. They had crazy moments in this secret chamber. Then, he refined the energy and stabilized the negative emotions, using the power Upanishad symbol tower to refine an ice original symbol. Meiji so thrilled when she got the original symbol. With this original symbol and the god power given by Shi Yan, her realm had reached the bottleneck. She needed a short time to accumulate and comprehend her new supernatural ability. Afterward, she could break through to second sky of territory ancestor realm. She couldn't even dream of this fast progress before. But now, she got it all. Meiji didn't have time to think about Shi Yan's slaughter in the 4 clans. At this moment, she needed to fuse the original symbol with her soul altar to stabilize her power Upanishad. Then, she would have time to think about the other matters. However, at this moment, she got messages from Montesi. Montesi had called her several times asking her to get out of the secret chamber. With passion in her eyes, she beheld Shi Yan. She understood that he had harvested an enormous amount of energy and that he had just spent a small proportion on refining her an original symbol. She knew that he needed more time to absorb all the energy. She believed that when he woke up, he would reach an unimaginable level. Meiji stood up and looked at the ambiguous bruises and marks on her body embarrassedly. She put on proper clothes. After a flash, she disappeared from the chamber and reappeared in the meeting hall that the Phantom Clan often used to discuss important matters. As soon as she walked out, her face changed immediately. What happened? There were many faces that she didn't often meet. They were the owners of different territories or the chiefs of clans dependent on the Phantom Clan. There weren't many times when they came to the headquarters of the Phantom Clan in hundreds or even thousands of years. Today, they all gathered and wore stern faces. Montesi, Cantesi, and Fandelay were also present. All of them looked solemn. Seeing her, Montesi sighed in relief and said, "You took a long cultivating session this time. Anyway, you got out on time, right before the war." War? Meiji was puzzled. What war? The Soul Clan, Devouring Clan, Ancient Monster Clan, and Black Demon Clan want to declare war against the White Bone Clan and our Phantom Clan. Previously, we wouldn't dare to fight against them. But today, it's a good opportunity. Montesi sneered. Shi Yan had seized the chance when the leading experts of the 4 clans were away to massacre their lands. They had to bear a severe loss this time. The power of a single clan can't be our enemy. Since Dracula and his wife are back, the White Bone Clan is more powerful. Anyway, our 2 clans can join hands. Our combined force can resist the other 4 clans. Why is that? Meiji didn't understand the situation yet. They want us to hand over Shi Yan. They demand to know the coordinates of Cloud Mist territory. They want to kill Shi Yan at any cost and destroy Cloud Mist territory to avenge their fellows who Shi Yan killed. Montesi wore a cold face. Let alone the fact that I don't know where Shi Yan is, Even if I did know, I wouldn't tell them. This war is interesting to me. It's good to fight. Perhaps, after this war, the Phantom Clan will become the strongest leading clan in this entire sea of stars. I had a premonition that both sides will have to bear losses in this war. I don't agree with you, said a beautiful, slim girl standing by Montesi. She frowned and continued in a gloomy voice, we shouldn't declare war against the 4 clans because of Shuryen. It will decrease the power of our own clan and the 4 clans altogether. We'd better tell them Cloud Mist Territory's location. Just let them battle against each other. She was Cantesi, another second sky of Territory Ancestor Realm, Montesi's blood sister. In the Phantom Clan, she had a position as high as Montesi. I'm not jealous that Shuryen had taken Cloud Mist Territory. However, I also think that we shouldn't join this battle this early, said Fandalay by Cantesi, his face sincere. Once it starts, it will be hard to end it. If the 7 clans are going to decline because of this battle, it will be good for no one. Pausing for a while, Fandalay looked at his fellows and those who were dependent on his clan and said seriously, it's related to every clan. I think all of us here have the right to decide. We can use the number of territories as the number of votes. Let's vote to see if we should fight or not. If more vote for no war, we will give up on the aliens in Cloud Mist Territory. I think the Soul Clan and the others only want Shuryen's fellows. They won't attack Cloud Mist Territory itself. He, of course, chose Cantesi's side. Everybody knew that he hated Shuryen for shooing him out of Cloud Mist Territory and taking Skyfall Star River, which he thought should belong to him. However, he said the truth. The owners of the other territories and the leaders of the dependent forces agreed with Fandalay's suggestion. They wanted to vote to decide this. Montesi was filled with anger in this boisterous crowd. She had agreed with Hero to join hands with them and fight against the 4 clans. If those people didn't want to do that, she would lose her face as she had gone back on her words. At this moment, she envied Hero. The members of the Whitebone clan were always united. They didn't take sides in discussing matters like this. After they made an agreement, the entire Whitebone clan had begun to prepare for the coming war. And her Phantom Clan was still discussing noisily if they wanted to fight or not. As the great army of the 4 clans was approaching, if they didn't prepare anything, they would fall into a passive situation. Shuryen is here, Meiji suddenly said and pointed at the ground. He's refining his energy in my secret chamber. Moreover, I got an original symbol from him. I'm not far away from second sky of Territory Ancestor Realm anymore. I have only one question. If you betray him, the Phantom Clan will become the next target. Our homeland will be trampled. Have you ever considered this consequence? Her words had shaken all the members of the Phantom Clan. The chiefs of the dependent clans couldn't help but look at the ground, their faces filled with deep fear. In this short period, Shuryen's brutal name had spread far and wide. The god of slaughter had terrified all races. He dared to massacre the Soul Clan, Devouring Clan, Ancient Monster Clan, and Black Demon Clan to the last member. What else could he do in this world? Chapter 1554, Zhen Ru. Chapter 1554, Zhen Ru. Meiji's words silenced all the warriors in the hall. The atmosphere was so quiet that they could even hear the clinking sound of a needle falling on the ground. Those people came from different territories. Many of them were leading experts that controlled an entire area or dependent clans. They had power. More or less, they got the news. They knew the reasons why the Sea of Stars boiled up and the wrath of the Soul Clan, Devouring Clan, Ancient Monster Clan, and Black Demon Clan. Just like what Meiji had said, Shuryen had slaughtered the ancestral lands of the 4 clans. What else did he dare not to do? Montesi was pleased with the subduing effects provided by Shuryen's title of God of Slaughter. She smiled and then nodded to Meiji. After that, she glanced at her sister Cantesi. Cantesi wore a cold face. Her eyes didn't convey any significant emotion. Similarly, Fandalay didn't utter a word. I suggest that we prepare for the war while waiting for Shuryen to wake up, said Montesi after a while. Her eyes with divine light raked through the crowd as she spoke calmly. The 4 clans are all damaged badly. Shuryen is their main target. We just need to say that we don't know anything. If they still want to battle, we aren't wrong in that case. Fighting isn't a big deal. Are we afraid of them? The group that had tilted on Fandalay and Candace now recognized that Shiryen was the final villain. They were frightened instantly as they were afraid that they would have to face Shiryen's bloody revenge. They weren't as strong as the four clans. They couldn't resist one wave of attack from Shiryen. Perhaps their entire race was going to go extinct because of Shiryen's rage. Thus, after weighing the pros and cons, they agreed with Montese's plan. They were going to prepare for the war and observe the situation while waiting for Shiryen to wake up. They decided that way. Inside Montese's palace, her eyes were so bright as she asked excitedly, "Show me." "Hurry!" Meiji nodded and urged her soul energy. Right after that, her soul altar slowly emerged above her head. What Meiji cultivated was ice power Upanishad, which made her soul altar spatial-looking. It was like a crystal glacier in a snowstorm. A snowflake that represented her power Upanishad hovered in her soul altar. Above the snowflake was an original symbol with a vague cold air twirling around it, which had Meiji's soul consciousness. It was uncontrollably releasing magical power of ice power Upanishad. Feeling the cold energy and seeing all things in her palace get frozen, Montese's eyes brightened and gave compliments. What an excellent original symbol! An original symbol represents a supernatural ability. It seems like your ice power Upanishad will become more condensed and profound. I didn't expect him to refine me an original symbol that fast. Meiji sounded embarrassed. Haha, Monese had a good mood. That kid has created a genocide in the four clans. He killed so many members of the four clans. Of course, he harvested an enormous amount of energy. I guessed he would change greatly, but I couldn't think that he was right in our Phantom clan. It seems that Serene Prison's team has laid their eyes on me. It's their luck then. Granny, do you really want to fight against the four clans? Meiji's face turned serious. It was true that Shiryan's maniac massacre had damaged the four clans greatly. Many experts based on their homelands had lost their lives. No matter what, they were the strong clans with their names known everywhere for tens of thousands of years. Their deep foundation couldn't be estimated. The Phantom clan was slightly weaker than the other four clans. Meiji understood that even if the Phantom clan was attacked, despite their losses, their roots wouldn't be affected. Because the combined forces from the big territories and the dependent clans was much stronger than the force guarding their headquarters. Similarly, the Soul Clan, Devouring Clan, Black Demon Clan, and Ancient Monster Clan still had many experts living in other territories and important locations. They were loyal forces of the four clans. If they joined this war, they would become a heavy pressure toward the Phantom Clan and the Whitebone Clan. Montese wasn't actually as calm as she showed. She understood that once the war burst out, both sides would have to bear significant losses, just like Candace and Fandalay had predicted. Did you think that only we would be worried and Serene Prison, Edgar, Beverly, and Rupert wouldn't be? Haha, you have to know that the mysterious Sky Clan, the most cunning clan among the 7 clans, hasn't picked their side yet. Moreover, this time, Shiryen had spared the Whitebone Clan, our Phantom Clan, and even the mysterious Sky Clan. Do you know what that means? Monase's petite face was smiling, her eyes bright with wisdom. Meiji's soft body slightly quivered. You mean? I'm sure that the mysterious Sky Clan has a secret agreement with Shiryen. Montese said affirmatively. The mysterious Sky Clan is stronger than us. If we join the Whitebone Clan and the mysterious Sky Clan, can you guess which side will have a greater chance to win? Meiji smiled charmingly. Her graceful body swayed like a flower in the breeze. When Shiryen wakes up, we can contact the mysterious Sky Clan through him. We will sign a secret treaty with them. When that happens, I wish the 4 clans will attack us. It's also a chance to change the situation of the Sea of Stars. I'm looking for it, though. Montese squinted, her face eager. However, you have to keep an eye on Candace and Fandalay. You have to protect Shiryen. I'm afraid that these two are having some conspiracy. They dare? Meiji was surprised. I found Candace and Fandalay have a discreet connection with the members of the 4 clans. I hope they know the limit. Otherwise, Montese pulled a cold face, her eyes emitting murderous aura. In another hidden land inside the Phantom Clan where Candace cultivated, Candace, Vandelay, and their subordinates gathered and discussed the matters that happened in the meeting hall today. Vandelay's handsome face looked glum and discontented. I don't know why she have to stick to that Shuryen. Is it because he has the power Upanishad symbol tower? If we join hands and kill him when he's cultivating, we will get the power Upanishad symbol tower. Isn't that better for us? It's not that simple. Candace shook her head and said calmly, you fought with Shuryen. You know how tough he is. He's mastered the space power Upanishad. It's not easy to kill him. Then what should we do? Do we have to follow them? Vandelay sounded reluctant. I'm still thinking, Candace frowned. However, at this moment, a fawn-faced warrior standing by them suddenly guffawed strangely. This fat warrior had many dreadlocks. With a closer look, those dreadlocks were actually finger-sized, green tentacles. They were dangling and moving peculiarly. He was a member of the Heavenly Ox tribe, a small tribe dependent on the Phantom Clan. Vandelay had conquered this tribe. Thus, they were under his command. After they left the meeting hall, he had followed Candace and Vandelay to this place. Listening to their discussion, he suddenly acted strangely. As he was still laughing bizarrely, the fat man's body twisted as he was transfiguring. In less than 1 minute, he had become a graceful young girl around 20 years old. She wore a simple silver dress. Her aura, soul altar, and god power had changed as her appearance changed. Who are you? Candace looked bewildered for the first time. The aura on this girl gave her a dangerous feeling. The pressure in her soul told her that this girl wasn't normal. You don't know me, but your sister Montesi does. I killed this fatty of the Heavenly Ox tribe and disguised as him to attend your Phantom Clan's meeting. I know your plan and what you and Vandelay are talking about. The graceful girl smiled and calmly looked at Candace. I'm interested in your plan. I think we can cooperate. Find a chance to lure Meiji away. I will use Meiji's appearance to deal with Shuryen. Then, the girl transfigured again and turned into Meiji's appearance. Her makings, aura, body, and even the soul energy fluctuations matched. There was almost no flaw. If Candace and Vandelay didn't see her transfiguration with their own eyes, they would have thought that she was Meiji. They couldn't differentiate between them. Excellent. Candace's eyes sparkled strangely. She searched her memories. In the next second, she discolored in fear. Zhen Ru. Zhen Ru of Myriad Shape Tribe, one of the 10 great territory ancestors. It's you. Myriad Shape Tribe was just a weak tribe in this sea of stars. Members of this tribe could transfigure into any shape. The higher their realm was, the more magical their transfiguration could be. They could become any member of any race, with an identical body, soul, and aura. This tribe wasn't really eye-catching. However, as soon as Zhen Ru appeared, she had made the reputation of the tribe known everywhere. Although Zhen Ru was just like other members of Myriad Shape Tribe, her innate talents in using the supernatural power of the tribe to an amazing level helped her gain a lot of benefits. She had reached Territory Ancestor Realm. Eventually, together with Sauron and Yuanzhu, she had become one of the 10 great territory ancestors who didn't come from the 7 great clans. If you know who I am, are you more confident? Zhen Ru giggled in Meiji's shape. Her charming and sexy makings were identical to Meiji. The others couldn't spot the differences. I know Vandelay is interested in Skyfall Star River, and you want the power Upanishad symbol tower. I can leave them to you as long as you help me. Vandelay and Candace were moved. What do you want? Candace sounded as calm as usual. She didn't show that she was convinced. You wouldn't come here for nothing, would you? What do you want from Shuryen? Besides the power Upanishad symbol tower and Skyfall Star River, everything else on Shuryen will belong to me. Zhen Ru smiled beautifully. Anyway, you just need to know that I'll bring you hope. This is the Phantom Clan, your lair. If you help me with your best, my plan will succeed 100% of the time. What do you think? Vandelay and Candace exchanged looks. They kept silent for a long time. After that, Candace said, we need to discuss the details first. Yeah, we should talk more. Zhen Ru's smile became brighter when she heard that. She knew her business would succeed soon. Chapter 1555 Ambush. Chapter 1555 Ambush _ In the cold, secret chamber, Meiji was restless, but she didn't know why. She vaguely felt an invisible danger awaiting her. It was her premonition. She looked at Yan, who was sitting on an ice rock. Her exquisite brows furrowed, her face worried. This time, it took Yan a long time to refine the energy. Perhaps it was because he had taken in so many experts. The situation was getting worse, and she had disclosed Yan's whereabouts in the secret meeting of the Phantom Clan. Pondering, she regretted that she had disclosed his whereabouts. She was afraid of the external members, the chiefs of the clans dependent on the Phantom Clan. They might reveal Yan's location. If so, the experts like Serene Prison, Edgar, Beverly, and Rupert would come to the headquarters of the Phantom Clan with all of their forces. Destroying Yan was their priority. Jingle. Jingle. The rushing bell jingling came from a rhombus crystal on her creamy neck. This crystal connected directly to the magical information crystal of the Phantom Clan's information center. Her beautiful eyes looked discontent. She cursed something under her breath and then used her soul consciousness to connect to the sound stone. A soul message bloomed in her head. Meiji's exquisite face turned serious. She hurried to set up layers of barriers and left the chamber. She came to a strange room tiled with crystals. Looking at around a dozen beautiful girls moving between the crystals, her cold voice arose. What happened? Didn't I ask you to report to Granny directly if you got some problem? Why do you have to disturb me? Granny left several days ago. She went to an asteroid field to discuss with Hero of the Whitebone clan, said a young girl, bowing slightly. You also ordered us to report to you first if it's related to Cloud Mist territory. As Meiji heard that Montesi wasn't here, she didn't sound harsh anymore. What happened? The information about Cloud Mist territory is disclosed. Many people know that Yan and his family, friends are living in Cloud Mist territory. And now, the warriors of the 4 clans have departed to Cloud Mist territory. We're worried that the territory will fall. Thus, we reported to you for a solution, said the girl while shivering. Meiji's face turned cold. Not many people know Yan's family stays in Cloud Mist territory. It must be someone among us. Investigate. We must figure out who. We also thought that it was from someone among us. The girl shook like a leaf and lowered her voice. I'm sure that there is a traitor. Otherwise, the information wouldn't have spread out so quickly. Only our Phantom Clan has the capacity to send information to every corner of the universe shortly. Hearing her, Meiji was more outraged. She guessed that this could relate to Candace and Fandalay. She knew that it was the trap they had plotted against Yan. She had to solve this urgent matter. At the same time, Zhen Ru in Meiji's disguise quietly sneaked into Meiji's secret chamber. Her bearings, aura, and soul energy fluctuation weren't different from Meiji. Candace couldn't distinguish her, either. As the most excellent expert of Myriad Shape Tribe, Zhen Ru had cultivated the innate supernatural ability of her clan to an utterly high level. She could change her appearance into any creature with one flicker of her thoughts. Meiji's chamber was built right under her palace with icy layers of barriers. Once someone intruded, Meiji could feel it immediately. Thus, Meiji could leave her room to go to the information center without too much concern. She was confident that even Candace and Montesi couldn't sneak through her sensitivity to break the barrier quietly to intrude Yan's chamber. Unfortunately, it was Zhen Ru, the grandmaster of the disguising technique in this world. Layers of icy barriers shone in cold lights. There were dozens of them. As soon as some other energy touched them, it would activate Meiji's soul consciousness, which would alert Meiji shortly. Zhen Ru in Meiji's shape landed on the first icy barrier. A strange suction force came out from her body and absorbed the energy on the barrier. Right after, Zhen Ru's body turned transparent like the barrier as she got the matched aura with the barrier. It was like Zhen Ru became a barrier of this group or became a part of the barrier. After turning into a crystal layer of ice, she landed on the barrier and slowly blended with it. After a while, Zhen Ru disappeared. A light in the icy barrier slowly lowered and seeped through many layers. It didn't activate the barriers or touch Meiji's soul consciousness. Of course, it didn't alarm Meiji. Using the same method, Zhen Ru turned into a light and seeped through each barrier until she reached the bottom. So many icy dots congregated and turned into Meiji's shape. She smiled and used her similar appearance and aura. Slowly, she moved gracefully towards the center of the chamber. Her charming eyes gazed at Shuryen naturally. I'm back. They had a little trouble outside I had to solve. She smiled and talked to herself. You've spent a lot of time to refine energy this time. The world out there is about to explode. The leaders of the 4 clans are aiming at the Phantom Clan and the Whitebone Clan. She briefed the situation of the galaxy and then came to Shuryen. Observing him for a while, she mumbled, I hope you wake up soon. Then, she stroked his cheeks and fondled the stubble on his face, her face passionate. Even if Meiji was here herself, she would think that she was watching herself in the mirror. Zhen Ru's acting was simply superb. Her soul energy and her icy aura completely matched with Meiji. Shuryen sank into his energy refining process. As he smelled a familiar aura and coldness, he wasn't skeptical at all. He thought that it was Meiji. You rascal. Zhen Ru stooped and groaned as if she was aroused. Her ivory hands slowly slid downward towards Shuryen's chest. Strange light dots from her slim, pointy fingertips seeped into Shuryen's skin. Those light dots were so tiny that the soul couldn't recognize it. Shuryen was concentrating on refining the energy. He just felt a light chill on his skin, so he didn't mind it. Zhen Ru mumbled, her hands wandering around Shuryen's hunky torso and her eyes twinkling. Slowly, she stopped caressing him and sat right in front of him. She just watched Shuryen like that. Time flew hurriedly. After a while, Shuryen's body shook abruptly as if he was enduring pain. Chirp! 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 Small insects singing arose from his body. He could feel some tiny creatures slowly nibbling his flesh and blood. Those tiny creatures were also reproducing quickly in his veins and bones. Their tiny bodies slowly enlarged. Waves of pain came from his entire body. He immediately recognized the danger. Opening his eyes, Shuryen was baffled as he looked at Meiji smiling in front of him. Why? Why did you ambush me? Because you're such a ladies' man. I got the news that you have a fierce girlfriend called Ziyao. That woman is an absolute beginning creature, right? Zhen Ru used Meiji's tone to talk. Do you feel enough with her? Did you spare a spot in your heart for me? The worms I sent to your body could keep you on myself. You belong to me. Only me. What the heck are you doing? Are you crazy? Shuryen's face darkened. My cultivation is at the critical moment. Do you want to kill me? He hadn't recognized anything abnormal. He thought that she was actually Meiji. The supernatural ability of the myriad shape tribe was urged to the most exquisite level in Zhen Ru's hands. Rumors weren't wrong when they said that she could deceive even the most intimate partner. Shuryen couldn't find anything different from the soul, aura, and her energy. Zhen Ru's innate power was really superb. Not many people knew that Zhen Ru's power was so magical that she could even copy the other Soul Altar, Power Upanishad, and even the Soul Seal. I want to see Power Upanishad Symbol Tower and Skyfall Star River. Can you show me? Zhen Ru suddenly begged softly. Those little worms are just a little prank. They will disappear shortly after. I just wanted to use them to wake you up and tell you the current situation. There's something you need to know. People know your family and friends are living in Cloud Mist territory. I'm worried. Magically, Shuryen exhaled in relief as he thought that it was just a harmless prank. She just wanted to tell him the situation in Cloud Mist territory. Waving his hands, he didn't mind it. You don't need to worry about Cloud Mist territory. Even if the 4 clans know the location, they can't intrude. Why? Zhen Ru was surprised. Before I came here, I'd used the space energy to seal the entrance of Cloud Mist territory. I'd also distorted its location too. Unless they have an expert cultivating space power Upanishad at the same level, it won't be simple to locate Cloud Mist territory in this vast sea of stars. Shuryen was calm and at ease. Before he came here, he had calculated everything. He knew that the 4 clans would come to take mad revenge. He had arranged everything. As Zhen Ru was so surprised and skeptical, he gave a faint smile. About Power Upanishad Symbol Tower and Skyfall Star River. If you want to see, I can show you. It's not a big deal, is it? Then, he was about to urge his energy to take out Power Upanishad Symbol Tower and Skyfall Star River. However, as soon as he wanted to take action, his face changed and screamed. No! Those worms aren't as simple as you said. Erg! He couldn't help but roar as if he had to endure unimaginable pain. His flesh and blood were nibbled and swallowed. Zhen Ru looked content. She shook her head disdainfully and sneered. I thought you were bold. Is that all you got? I trapped you easily. Not interesting at all. Chapter 1556. Drink Blood and Eat Flesh. Chapter 1556. Drink Blood and Eat Flesh _ Meiji's exquisite face could turn creatures crazy changed as she was laughing coldly. Her white, water-like skin rippled. After a while, her appearance returned to Zhen Ru's real shape. Zhen Ru had slim brows and an elegant face. However, she wasn't as charming as Meiji despite her extremely beautiful slim body. She was wearing a moonlight's dress. Her whole appearance was like a serene white lotus that made her bearings completely different from Meiji. Her narrow, long eyes had a cold disdain. They rumored that you could resist Yuan Zhu, which made me shiver in fear. I've spent a lot of efforts, but it turned out worse. You know that you didn't even have any defense. You disappointed me. Her willowy body sat quietly in front of Shuryen, her face confident and ease. Shuryen looked savage as his stocky body cracked strangely and showed his muscle fibers and veins, which looked so horrible. So many gold light dots emerged from his blood and flesh with ear-piercing screeching. Pure gold spirit ants. They are pure gold spirit ants. Shuryen panted, his face dark. He didn't mind his torn skin and muscles and screamed, "Who is this despicable slut? Did I sleep with you or did I kill your entire family? Why did you have to use the pure gold spirit ants to ambush me? Are you so slutty that you want me to rape you? Bastard! Shut up!" Zhen Ru couldn't stand his insults. She shouted and then placed a white finger on his glabella. A silver steel needle emerged from her fingertip, which had some fine patterns. However, it wiggled like a worm that made people numb. A pungent smell fumed from the silver steel needles. Shuryen felt a twinge in his brain. The soul pond in his soul altar was polluted immediately. He was shaken as he found it hard to urge his power Upanishad. My pure gold spirit ants are mutant after several generations. They are tougher than their ancestors in the absolute beginning era. You shouldn't dream about using your devouring power Upanishad to eat them. Zhen Ru was haughty. Before I came here, I discussed with Edgar. We let the expert of the devouring clan attack the ants. I'm certain about the effects already. My pure gold spirit ants have been mutant for many generations. The devouring and corrosion power Upanishads can do no harm to them. If you don't believe me, you can try. While talking, the silver needle pierced through Shuryen's glabella. Billions of silver electric currents bloomed in Shuryen's brain and turned into arm-sized worms that fell into his sea of consciousness. Those worms swarmed Shuryen's sea of consciousness and released dirty things that made his sea of consciousness a muddy puddle. His soul pond got polluted slowly. All kind of power Upanishads were stagnant because of pollution. Checking his body, he found that the pure gold spirit ant's abnormal. This sort of ant was much bigger, and they had fangs and horns. It seemed like they were a crossbreed between ants and some monstrous insects. He urged devouring power Upanishad, but then, he found that after the pure gold spirit ants got into his blood, they got his blood aura so the devouring power Upanishad ignored them. If he used the corrosion power Upanishad, unless he eroded his own body, he couldn't do anything to the ants. He felt insecure. Since he had come to this world, he had faced so many deadly situations. But this time was the toughest. His god body and soul altar were attacked at the same time. After each minute, his power became more stagnant. If it continued this way, he would lose his resistance and the others could do anything to him. What do you want? He tried to cut off the worried thoughts in his head as fast as he could. Trying to stay sober, he said with a dark countenance. You want Power Upanishad Symbol Tower and Skyfall Star River? How did you know I'm here? What do I want? Zhen Ru licked the corners of her mouth. Her swift tongue glided between her lips, her face mesmerizing. However, her words were striking. I want you. I want your blood and your bones. I think your blood will taste good. Perhaps it could help me unchain the restraint of myriad-shaped tribe. It could transform this body of mine to another height. Drink my blood? Eat my flesh? Shuryen paled. He discreetly urged his power to stabilize his body and the soul while trying to talk nonsense to seize more time to break this situation. Isn't Yuanzu a better option? He's a real absolute beginning creature. If you can eat him and drink his blood, wouldn't it be easier to evolve? I wanted to do that. However, Yuanzu isn't easy to deal with. It's not easy to find him either. Thus, I have to choose the second option. You will be my chance to break through again. Well, you shouldn't waste your breath. At your realm, you can't resist me. Even your incomplete absolute beginning body can't resist me. Zhen Ru looked disdainful. Apparently, she thought Shuryen was easier to deal with. Also, what the rumor said about him was really bragging. At this moment, she evaluated that Shuryen was far behind the experts of the previous generations like Yuanzu. Thus, as the world was shaking, she used the supernatural power of myriad-shaped tribe to aim at Shuryen. What are you waiting for? Shuryen sneered. I'm waiting for my little babies to control your body and sea of consciousness entirely. Then, I will eat you and drink your blood. Zhen Ru squinted. An icy light shot out from her narrow eyes. She looked like a hungry wolf that was drooling for a delicious meal. Shuryen stayed silent. He closed his eyes and felt the pure gold spirit ants nibbling his body like silkworms eating mulberry leaves. As his soul altar, sea of consciousness, and the soul pond were polluted, his power Upanishads and supernatural abilities were stagnant. He had tried many times to use the 8 evil power Upanishads, the life, star, and even the flame power Upanishads to eliminate the aliens in his body, his soul. Soon, he found that his power was ineffective to the pure gold spirit ants and the little worms in his soul. These two species had the supernatural powers of myriad-shaped tribe. Their aura and life energy matched with Shuryen's aura and soul energy fluctuation. It was unbelievable. For the time being, Shuryen's hands were tied. Zhen Ru coldly watched him, but she didn't do anything. She wanted to see if Shuryen could resist the two terrifying alien creatures. After several minutes, Shuryen made his first decision. Crack! 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 Strange cracking noises echoed around the icy chamber. Waves of space energy rippled. This was followed by the space in this room getting sealed. Without a positive solution, Shuryen sealed himself first and used the most powerful space seal technique to lock himself. The halos reflected illusions of different spaces and emerged in front of Shuryen. At first glance, it looked like Shuryen had so many mirrors installed around him, which created a lot of images of him. The seal covered the entire space, the large scale and Shuryen himself and the small scale. Zhen Ru recognized what he wanted to do. He couldn't use time power Upanishad to stop the soul altar, so he had to stop the danger in his body first. The space seal could seal all matters, including his own body. Once your soul altar is occupied, the space seal will be broken without any effort needed. I want to see it, Zhen Ru mumbled. As he used space to seal the body, if she wanted to break the seal, she had to detonate the space barriers, which was going to be really loud. It would alert the members of the Phantom Clan and Montesi and make her return as fast as possible. She was always afraid of Montesi. She knew the power of time. This time, she seized the chance when Montesi was away. She didn't want to fight Montesi. She believed that the invisible creatures she had put in Shuryen's brain could reproduce quickly and occupy his sea of consciousness and the soul pond. She wanted to control his soul altar first. After the soul altar was fallen, Shuryen's body was just a puppet without any ability to threaten her. That's why she wasn't hurried. Deep inside Shuryen's head, just like Zhen Ru had guessed, so many worms were reproducing massively in his sea of consciousness. Through attacking his sea of consciousness, the worms ate his soul consciousness to grow further. They were about to launch their last attack to Shi Yan's soul altar. The Sea of Consciousness and the Soul Pond were the foundation of the soul altar, similar to how the God Power ancient tree was the source of energy for the body. They were also the energy source to urge the power Upanishads in his soul altar. They kept him sober to develop the territory. Once the Sea of Consciousness and Soul Pond fell, the warrior's soul altar was taken, his body would be controlled and his soul seal would be erased. Shi Yan understood that the battle was taking place right in his Sea of Consciousness and the Soul Pond. He had to destroy or refine those reproducing creatures to have a chance to live. As he was still mindful, he urged the soul power and tore a hole on his territory above the soul altar. In the brilliant galaxy-like territory, so many black holes were spinning to refine the energy taken in from his bloody massacre. His territory was much more magical than others' territories. It could connect acupuncture points. The energy in the acupuncture points wasn't refined yet, but he forced it to pour into the territory. That territory was like a whole new world that expanded as it received more energy. The expanding territory had energy and more life stars. As his soul flickered and his power Upanishads were urged, the life stars had magnificent changes. They began to have mountains, rivers, cold glacier, lands of fire, lush forest, and isolated deserts. The natural landscapes in different life stars were corresponding to many power Upanishads he cultivated. However, they didn't have any creature. The worms that were nibbling his Sea of Consciousness and Soul Pond jumped in joy when they saw the hole. Just like flies that smelled something stinky, they began to move to his territory. Zhen Ru's eyes brightened as she thought that this battle would end quickly. You're tuning in to the Phoenix Knights YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.